I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
But you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with a smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with a smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro?
You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Yeah, bad intro. But you know, the thing about that one part where the lady says, start with a smaller finger. Like, look at my hand. There's the only small finger I got is this one. It's the pinky. Like my thumb? No.
That's a great point. I never really thought about it, but I mean, yes, there's definitely a circumference difference between your other fingers.
Yeah.
But they're minuscule as a whole compared to just like pinky, everything else, thumb.
I mean, yeah, I guess the smallest finger I have is my pinky, but it's really not that much smaller than the other ones.
It's like take a ring. It goes easy on your pinky, it goes on your ring finger properly, but then it gets stuck like about that knuckle right there.
I don't know. I've never.
As long as you only go that knuckle deep, right?
Yeah, I know. Have you ever fingered a girl with your pinky?
Yeah, sure.
That's a pinky in the stinky. That's a little bit different.
I was pretty sure she was talking about the stinky, wasn't she?
No. Well, you might be right. You're right. Right.
Every other video surrounding that had to do about it, so I just assumed that's what she's talking about.
That's true. Yep. That's probably right. Hey, just want to welcome everybody here for the show today. It's a Thursday show. We got really no competition tonight with other sports, so I'm expecting some people to show up. We're going to try to give you our 23. I did want to say that I'm really, and I've said this before on the show, I'm absolutely just disgusted with the commercials, the music people are picking for commercials. And I've already brought this up, but this is the song, the brand new song where he starts up, and this is for the celebrity cruiser commercial. Fuck that fucking car. Now, I feel like new sunglasses, like a new pair of jeans. Oh, fuck you in your jeans, dude. Oh, man, shove that shit right back up your ass where it came from. Fucking can't stand it. Yeah, sorry, had to say it again because if somebody out there has not heard it before, yeah, disgusting. Also, Bruce Arena was on Jimmy's show today, and Bruce was like, you know, the one criticism I have of U.S. soccer is really they haven't scheduled enough competitive friendlies. What?
Bruce, come on.
How is that U.S. soccer's fault? That's FIFA's fault. There's no one available.
Come on, Bruce. Come on.
I even typed that in the live remarks. Of course, they didn't put it up, but
you can't make the guests look foolish.
I guess, but
the funny thing is that we sat there and like, hey, Greg is in fact the most winningest coach in U.S. soccer history, but then again, he's only played CONCACAF for the most part. But that's not against Greg. Greg didn't make those decisions.
Yeah.
And so you deal with what you have available to you. And quite frankly, all the European teams are in Nations League as well. They're doing their own shtick over there.
Exactly.
South American teams are all like qualifying for 4 years. And
that's the little penis guy, Infantino, and his infant penis. He's the one pushing all this shit, which is why no one's ever available for a friendly. I mean, it's simple as that. Oh, by the way, the 69 of you here right now already on X and YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. Yay, giggity. All right. Also, here's one thing I'm not for that's being pushed right now. Privatizing education. I think that across the board if it was done that doesn't sound like a solution. I mean, it could be, but I don't like the idea. That's like privatizing the police department. I mean, could there be some good things? Maybe, but in general, don't like the idea. Because you know what? There's always that incentive to make money. And that's not what the priority is. The priority is to make sure kids learn. And you're talking about the police department, it's about keeping people safe. Not as arresting as many people as you can to fill as many jails, privatized jails as you can. That's bad.
This is such a lengthy conversation to be had.
It would be.
It's almost not even worthwhile to jump into. I'll just say that as test scores and just ratings in general continue to go down, something might need to change.
Something's going to have to change, but I don't think that needs to be it. We certainly have had one of the top public education systems in the world at one point. What's gone wrong since then?
I'll tell you.
No, well,
we've stopped hitting our kids. Do what?
Stop whatting your kids?
We've stopped hitting our kids.
Hitting them. Okay, great, Brett. That's a solution. I don't think
a kid starts acting up, you hit them, they stop acting up.
I think there is a way to get back to where we were before in public education. I do think it's possible. At the same time, having worked in the education business for 20 years, not just as a teacher, but as a consultant around the country, consulting school districts, I can tell you one of the bigger problems is actually how big school districts are. The further the teachers are away from the leadership, i.e. the superintendent of schools, you look at Chicago and how massive that is, you know, the less communications really going on between administration and the frontline troops. That's not good in the military, and it's certainly not good in education.
I'll use Fishers as an example, since I've I'm there. You'll hear nonstop. Even that's a big district. First off, that's a big district.
Giant
in Indiana as a whole.
Indianapolis.
You'll hear from the teachers there how there's such a massive disconnect and a massive miscommunication between the people who are making decisions and the people who are having to implement the decisions. So
it's supposed to be a learning community, meaning the people running the show should be working intimately with the people in the front lines. That's not what is going on anywhere for the most part that I know of, at least no school district giant one that I've ever been to. I would say if you really want to have a more efficient school districts, just make them smaller. Make them smaller. Break Chicago up into like 15 school districts, and Indianapolis, break that up into north, west, south, east. Break it up. Doesn't need to be so goddamn gigantic. Anyhow,
Miguel says CPS is a joke. I'm assuming Miguel's talking about Chicago public schools and not Child Protective Services.
No, he's talking about Chicago public schools. Listen, it's a mess out there. There are solutions, but people need to start listening and talking to one another. And I just don't see that happening. And I mean, when we were out there, we were talking about solutions a lot. And I think we were getting some things done. But then it all fell apart and like starting in the 2000s.
I'll start spelling out the issue here. In where my son goes to school, my daughter goes to school. My son's in 4th grade right now, and this is the first year he's legitimately had spelling tests. Now they've gone over words in class and stuff like that, but as far as like having a spelling list each week, learning that list and coming in on Friday and taking that test, this is the first year he's had to do it.
Yep.
That's an issue. He's only time he ever comes home with homework is just a math worksheet, and that's it. I'm like, well, geez, there should be you should have more than that.
I had to teach my youngest son, Nick, how to write his name in cursive so he could have a signature because they didn't teach it.
They don't teach it now, and my mom is actually the one that was teaching my son how to do cursive.
It's just crazy. But okay. And then lastly, if I brought it up last time, but this chick, Tara Link, she's hot. She's really hot. Like, you stumble across one of them every once in a while in the PORN industry, and you're like, I can't believe it's even possible that someone this hot could be doing the PORN. I mean, I just can't believe it. Anyhow,
She'd probably rake in a hell of a lot more money than somebody who's less hot. But
I don't know. I think she's been around a while, and I just stumbled onto it. So there's that. And my research of criticizing porn. That's what we do here. All right. That's all I got, Brett.
Yeah, as I was telling you, I scraped into the show just minutes before we went live.
Yeah,
because I had a little meeting with I signed Jackson up for Rec Plus, and he's gonna be trying out this weekend.
Yeah,
and so I had to sit through a meeting where they kind of go over what's going to be expected. And I explained to you about how they're, it's not like they're forming the teams based off this evaluation. They're basically saying, hey, we've got X amount of spots available currently, and we're just going to fill it in with the best X. But it's funny because they're like, yeah, does anybody else have any questions? And I'm the only one that's on camera, because I've got my stuff set up for the show tonight.
Yeah.
And I had a question. Jackson's going to try out for goalkeeper, but he also plays the field. And I was like, when you were specifying if the goalkeeper, if you're trying out for goalkeeper, that you're going to go over here to the small side of fields while everybody else goes over here and does the individual technical evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Will the goalkeepers also be evaluated on that too? Because Jackson's not just a goalkeeper; he plays out on the field too.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm asking this question, it dawned on me that nobody in this meeting who's looking at me asking this question knows that I'm in about 20 minutes. I'm going to be live on YouTube and X talking about a porn actress and how popular she is. So
I said PORN because I figured we might be too early. But hey, look at me being all responsible and shit.
all of our shows start off as monetized, and then I come back the next day, and all of a sudden it's back to limited. So it doesn't matter what we do. Our live streams are never going to be monetized.
I know. But anyhow, Tara Link, check her out. Whew, my God, what a hottie.
Real quick, Judgmental Didi says goalkeeper 2, nice. Yeah, he's always liked the idea of goalkeeper. He just wasn't there. But then all of a sudden, randomly in that first indoor game this season, like the first season, something clicked. Like he learned that he could fall on the ground and not hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, he's the best goalkeeper on the team. Now there are some that are like more athletic that are diving around and stuff like that. But Jackson lets in fewer goals.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yep.
So.
All right, for the 102 of you already here this early, we appreciate it. 13 minutes in.
I want you to spell the name out for research purposes, of course.
TERALINK, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Phonetic, very, very phonetic, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of her up until like Monday or no, last week. So it's the weekend. And again, just doing research as always, trying to figure out what's going on in that industry and just stumbled across a beautiful person. All right, it happens sometimes. I'm gonna let you head on with the rest of the fluff for the evening.
Yeah, so you actually passed this along to me. Forbes magazine top 30 rock bands of all time.
Oh God, yeah.
So let's take a look, I guess.
Led Zeppelin #1. I love Led Zeppelin, but number one. Really?
I guess it really depends on your taste of music at that point.
They didn't have even close to the amount of songs in total. I mean, they were prolific, but I still got to put Beatles #1. I can't put Led Zeppelin.
I guess if you take your tastes out of the equation and you just look at the effects that the band had on the industry.
Well, I like them both. That's
my point there would be it's hard to argue against the Beatles being #1.
Yeah,
because 100% as far as culturally concerned here, Beatles had a bigger impact.
I mean,
I like Led Zeppelin better, but I think Beatles were probably bigger. So
in many ways, the Beatles' White Album could be like the invention of emo and indie rock, if you want to get down to it. And I mean, we know what Led Zeppelin can do, and they did amazing shit. Amazing shit. I don't see how Queen can be this high. As much as I love Queen's best songs, I really do like them a lot. Their albums were full of like filler. A lot of them.
That's fair. And I guess when most people think of Queen, they think of the greatest hit albums.
Yeah.
And but I mean, as a whole, just as far as again, cultural change around the world when it comes to the music industry, I think Queen should be up there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's just some weird ones in here. And I like all these bands. I really do. I like them all. But the Clash at 15 is way overrating the Clash, who I love. But that's just ridiculous. And ZZ Top belongs nowhere on this top 30.
You
list.
too. No.
And then Kiss. Okay. I guess you're just going into their entertainment value. But outside of like a handful of songs,
all right.
I mean, Kiss are a horrible band. They're a bad band. They don't write good music. I mean, you got wanna rock and roll, and then you got they had no hits really. I mean, their entertainment value. It's one of the first bands I saw as a kid, and I love Kiss, but I
don't know,
nowhere near the top 30.
Again, this is. I mean, again, I guess if you're looking more like an iconic standpoint, most people will sit there and say if you put all 30 of these bands pictures up there. I would wager that Beatles would probably still be number one by picking just purely off the looks, because how can you not know who those were based off the looks? But Kiss would be in that top 30 based off of, you could recognize them.
When they're painted.
You might not necessarily say like, oh, that was like the best band ever, but you might say, hey, you know what? It's big enough in there.
But the worst one in here, dude, and there are a few, Heart. Are we fucking serious? Heart's number 20.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Above Nirvana? Really? And Tool, it's kind of an interesting throw-in, but Tool would have never come into my head as top 30, maybe top 100, but not top 30. And again, I actually, Heart's a band I don't like. That's one on this list I don't like. And then Rage Against the Machine for two albums.
I was gonna bring that one up because Rage Against the Machine, definitely a well-known band and all. Top 30, I wouldn't list them in the top 30 by any means. And especially not above Nirvana. Nirvana was much more iconic and as instrumental in the movement. I don't know. Rage wouldn't be in the top 30 for me.
And I'm sorry, but Radiohead gets totally fucked in this as far as like prolific writing over like a 30-year period. Holy shit. How many great songs do they have? Now, they own their own label. Label and put out their own music, but fucking their shit's amazing. Now, impact wise, is it? No, it's very niche. I get it, but
real quick, just Untouchables. I'm not saying anything bad about Rage Against the Machine.
Neither of us are. We love that album
love
too.
Their music. I love their music by all means. I'm just saying I wouldn't list them in the top 30 by any means.
No, I couldn't.
To your point with Radiohead, though, this is the same thing. This is the same scenario with Tool, quite frankly. Because Tool, the big problem against Tool and Radiohead, quite frankly, is that they don't have radio-friendly, blasted, overplayed music that we hear all the fucking time.
Correct, they don't.
So Radiohead and Tool are just like fucking artists out there creating their shit, and some of it, it's like some epic stuff, but nobody hears it unless you're a big fan of those bands.
But we all can agree, Heart, get the fuck out of here. The fuck is that? Yeah. And the Doors are too high, even though I like the Doors. I don't know. This list is fucked up. Was this picked by the CEO of Forbes? That's what I'm wondering.
Forbes magazine dropped their list for top 30 bands of all time in September of 2024. As business magazine, Forbes usually covers finances, so it doesn't specify anything there.
I mean, I like all these bands except for Heart. But this is just the order's all wrong. And I like a few ZZ Top songs, but 29? Sharp Dressed Man, you get that? Gets you to 29? She's Got Legs? Really?
Andy Tor here says, well, the Eagles are a country band, are they not? No.
No, I mean,
they're soft rock. They may have something that ventures towards there, but
no, they definitely had songs that had country edge for sure. Absolutely. But I think they're just a really artistic band that tried a lot of different genres, right? I really do. I don't think you could call them just a rock band or just a country band or just this or just that. Like, they tried a lot of stuff. So I got to give them credit. Anyhow, this is a hard discussion to have, and like we could put up our own top 30. Brett, it would be interesting at some point. And as much as I love Iron Maiden, and as prolific as they were, I just can't get Iron Maiden that high.
Oasis is an interesting one. I'm a big fan of Oasis, but I mean,
no, I'm not.
But they only have like a couple of albums before they split.
I mean, I do like Oasis. Let me take that back, because there are some songs that I absolutely fucking adore.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I still think Blur is better than Oasis by a mile. Like, why is it Blur on there if you really want to do that? And by the way, anybody who said, "Oh, Oasis sound like the Beatles," no, they fucking don't. No, they don't. Nothing like the Beatles. Absolutely zero like. Anyway, my opinion.
What was Blur's big song?
Oh, it's a big. I don't remember their hit. I know the songs that weren't hits. They were semi-hits. They were just blasters, and I loved them. They were just loud and like out there. Like no one was doing anything kind of like that at the time. But I just don't think Oasis. I think it's mostly the singing that's not like the Beatles to me.
Yeah,
not the Beatles. And the Cars being left out of this is absolutely insane. The Cars were an amazing band, and the Beach Boys aren't even on this. What the fuck? Some people think they wrote the best album of all time called Pet Sounds. They're not even on the top 30. The fuck is up? I don't get it, Brett. Anyhow, Forbes doesn't know music, but then again, neither does Rolling Stone. So we can move on.
Yeah. Josh Schmidt says song 2 was Blur's big song.
Yes.
How's that go? Do you know how that goes?
Not in my head right now. Can't do it. Yeah.
I thought Blur was one that's okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna sit here and try to think about that. That's just gonna be a waste of time.
Hey, Larry, right here, Larry. Beach Boys are awesome. A lot of people don't know they wrote a lot of songs, and they weren't all like, "Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me." Yes, early on they wrote a lot of those corny ass songs.
Well, that's because given the era that they grew up. 100%. That was that time period, guys.
Yeah, but they defined beach music. They wrote beach music.
Exactly.
Nobody was doing that. And yeah, it was corny as shit. But then when they stopped being corny, they were fucking amazing. Like Good Vibrations is just disgusting. It's a disgustingly amazing song. Yep. So anyhow, and I could name like 8, 9, 10, 12 others, but we're not going to do that here. All right, let's move on before we get too deep in the music thing. Because I could do this for 2 hours. You know that.
Yeah, and I know. You know, we could have had an entire podcast for music, which would have been 90% of you talking and me going, "Huh? Yeah, yeah."
I know. If you knew more music, we could do a music podcast together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be crazy. All right. Maybe we should do one where you listen to new music and then you talk about it, and then I give you the context.
We'll start a reaction channel.
A reaction channel on music, yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
I mean, they do that. That's like 45% of YouTube videos at this point is reaction, whether it's to movies, TV shows, or music. So.
Oh, by the way, my kids today in music class, we've got a really great. We got a new guy new student, and he plays the bass, and he was just ripping it today on Black Hole Sun. Like we were kicking ass on Black Hole Sun. The kid had never played it before, but. We played him. We were in the classroom. We played him the song, and then he listened to Richard play the guitar, and he just found the bass line to it. And Jeremy played the drums, and I was singing Black Hole Sun. So awesome. And again, the teachers are all walking by going, "What's going on in there? Like, these are real songs that you guys are playing." Yes. This is what happens when someone, offers some guidance and some structure, right? You can do songs, real songs. So we got 2 now, Heart-Shaped Box and Black Hole Sun, which wasn't my picks. Richard wanted to do it. So I said, "Yeah, you know how to play it?" He said, "Yeah." Okay, we'll do it. There, it's simple as that. All right.
You're gonna host a something in the auditorium where you can go up there and all the students show up and they listen to you guys play your little instruments.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yep. During lunchtime.
It's a little bit different than most band performances and stuff like that. When kids come out there and they play very classical or very less likely new age shit, but
Yeah. It'll be fun once we get this shit down. My only problem is my voice is cracking. And, I'm talking all
You're going
day.
through puberty. It's about time.
And then I'm singing all day. Now I'm doing this show. If my voice is, my voice is usually gone by the end of this show. So we'll see how it lasts. Singing Black Hole Sun today did not help.
Woohoo! I got my head.
Black Hole
I
Sun,
jumbo jet.
won't you come and wash away the rain? Black Hole Sun. I mean, listen, it's not easy to sing all day. All right. What else we got?
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I know Blur's big song, the song too. It's I was right.
It's a guitar ripper.
Although I thought it was like I got my head shaved, but it's checked by Jumbo Jet.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking about. But
I got my head checked by a Jumbo Jet.
Yeah, not the same song I was thinking about.
But nothing it is. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! That is a good one.
Like it's funny when that song comes on, and I don't know how she knows this, but when that song comes on the radio, Charlie sits in the back. I just hear her go, dun, 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 dun. Woohoo!
Yes, exactly.
How do you fucking know this song?
Good call out by Untouchables, Queens of the Stone Age. Great band.
That's a good band, yeah.
Major influence of me in the late 80s, early 90s, for sure. All right. We better move on.
Moving on. So you wanted me to pull this up because apparently you've added a new word to Alexi Lawless's vocabulary.
I love when he gives me credit for this stuff. He said he's stealing flabbergastation. Yeah. I said, I'm not really sure I heard a lot of flabbergastation. Made that word up here. These kind of numbers are unique for any president, i.e. high poll numbers. But I hear what you're saying because elsewhere it's been anger, vitriol, shock. If you're still shocked, you haven't been paying attention. Like nobody should be shocked about what's going on right now. Like this is all mapped out, right? So, but I'm not hearing flabbergastation from anybody really. I'm hearing vitriol and anger and like pissiness, but not people being flabbergasted, which is what he said they were. I don't think they're flabbergasted. I think they're fighting back or they're angry or upset. And I said, so I am not seeing a lot of flabbergastation. He said, I'm stealing that. Good for you.
I mean, it's my mom, who's an English major also, and teacher for that matter. She refers to these as Brett-isms.
Yes.
So every now and then I will say a word that's not really a word, but it should be a word.
I think this should be a word. Flabbergastation is
exactly
should be a word.
And you know what? There's an Urban Dictionary for a reason. Just throw it up there.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if you threw this up there and all of a sudden in some rap or hip hop or rock song, all of a sudden you hear flabbergastation get thrown in there? Like, fuck yeah, it was me, bitches.
I also want to point this out because some of the most fun I have on X in private messages and in public messages, and people are not going to like this, is with Alexi and with Max Bretos, who people don't like. But they're great, fun guys to have talks about stuff. Like they're funny. They're funny dudes, both of them. I mean, even Pete and Tack will tell you Max is a funny guy in private. So you may not like them like their takes, but personally, they are very fun dudes.
There's a reason why we've had Max. There's a reason why we've had Max on our show multiple times.
Right.
And we've only had Alexi on once, but I'm sure we'll get him back on again.
And Alexi's taste in music is a lot better than his own records. Sorry, Alexi.
Hey, you gotta give him props for just doing it, though.
Yeah, I mean, he liked my stuff, so of course I'm saying that. So there we go.
All right, what you're saying is he's got a phenomenal taste in music, right?
For me. All right, enough self-jerking here.
The best of taste ever.
It's just fun. All right, what else we got?
So I'm not sure if you have heard of. Apparently, Lionel Messi has an energy drink or some kind of a sports drink called Mas Plus.
I've not heard that. I'm not really doing energy drinks much these days.
I don't know if it's energy. It sounds like it with Mas Plus. You imagine that's got to be some kind of an energy drink, right?
I would guess.
Well, I mean, Logan Paul, you know the boxer, YouTuber dude.
Yeah.
He says that he'll consider dropping his lawsuit against Messi for Mas Plus for copying Prime if Messi faces him in a boxing match.
Oh, please.
And I'm sorry, what?
Not even. They're not even the same weight class. This is bullshit.
Well, that's not even up for question. As Edgar says, have him face Messi's bodyguard in the street.
No shit. It's like, what is he? 6'3", 6'2" versus some 5'6" hobbit.
So somebody tell me, is it an energy drink or is it a sports drink? It doesn't matter, because all that means that it is it's following in line with all the other sports drinks, the Gatorades, the Powerades, etc., or the energy drinks, the Red Bulls, the Monsters, the etceteras.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this lawsuit is a LOL suit.
I think this is Dexerto making some shit up. Dexerto making some shit up. All right, I'm sure he got clicks for it. I mean, he made the show. Edgar responded, so there you go. Edgar, if you're out there, hope you're doing well, brother.
1 million followers, and you got your Gold Plus member here. You pay basically meaning you're paying the super duper membership, not the $8 a month membership. I don't think he necessarily has to make shit up. I think the person who's making shit up is Logan Paul.
I think Logan Paul's joking.
Oh no, I think it is a joke. I think it's all for the clicks, though. But
sure.
Dexerto, however you pronounce it, is simply just reporting the news on these social media parasites.
I have no idea. Johnny says Max is a deuce. A douche, I think, is what he meant.
He wrote douche, yeah. No, that isn't right now.
He's not really a douche guy. I mean, that's not. Is he compromised? He absolutely is compromised. I've said it to his face. So he's compromised.
We have a lot of Prime is gross. Prime does suck. I've never really drank Prime. My kids drank Prime for a short spell there, but they ended up going back to Gatorade at the end. And quite frankly, I'm not a big Gatorade person. I'd prefer Powerade over Gatorade. I think Gatorade is just too thick, and I'd rather have a Powerade, which is a little watered down, it feels like.
I heard Prime's really good for enemas.
Oh. Maybe.
Yeah. If you need to clean it out, you just pour one right down the poop chute.
Yeah, so it's pops. There you go. Kobe says, great Powerade hits. Powerade's underrated, quite frankly, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on from this. That's enough of this shit. All right, for the 148 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with Grandma. We do appreciate it. On Thursday night, you joining us here 30 minutes into the show. We're about to end the fluff here soon and get to soccer.
We are talking about soccer right now, actually. Technically speaking, that last segment was soccer, Derek.
It had Messi in it.
It had Messi in it, and that's all that matters, right?
And enemas.
I know. The Don doesn't want messy articles all the time, but it is what it is. Regardless, let's go into some soccer topics here. We in previous live streams, last live stream actually, we were covering per the chat the US U17 World Cup qualifier matches. and you had texted me, you're like, oh, they're playing St. Kitts. What do you think? 20-0? I'm like, well, it depends.
I think I said 14. 14.
Yeah, 14. And I'm like, well, Chase Adams didn't start. And guess what? We only beat them 7-0.
I know. I saw that today. Man. I think did I send you a picture of that too?
Actually, it wasn't 7-0 because we won. What did we win against? 19? Was it 19?
I don't know, but all I know is U.S. Soccer Way probably had to reprogram their whole setup just so they could fit all the goals in that fucking Chase scored in that game. I've never seen so many balls next to one player's name, and they have to squeeze that into the format.
I have seen it. Holland had one in what was the U20 World Cup? They played Costa Rica, and he scored like 9 goals. It was 9 goals, okay.
Well, how many did Chase score? Didn't he score about that?
I think he scored like 9 goals too, yeah.
Yeah. I'd never seen that many balls next to a player's name. So I mean,
here we are sitting 2 games into World Cup qualifying, and we have a goal differential of 29.
9-0.
Can you say this is the biggest waste of time ever?
It is, and here's the. I mean, really, honestly, all these smaller teams need to be playing each other to get to this qualifying, because this is a group, right? If you go down, right?
I'm gonna go down in just a second, but I don't want to ruin the Cuba goal differential, who are also 2 wins up.
So my point is, like, can we eliminate the fodder before we bring in the big boys into the tournament? Because otherwise it is a waste of time. We're not learning anything from these games.
Just have change it up. Have one group in the end, like the hexagonal
or whatever you want to do. But
let the Cubas and the Guatemalans face against these St. Kitts and these Virgin Islands. Let them complete, and then they can work their way into it. Because here's why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing up Cuba. Cuba, who we face next, also have 2 wins, but they have a goal differential of 5, which means they let 4 goals in.
Unbelievable.
Against St. Kitts and the Virgin Islands, who we absolutely destroyed. It can only be predicted that we're going to destroy Cuba.
I think we'll beat Cuba like 4 or 5-0.
I'm going to go like 8.
You think more?
Okay. I'm going to go 8.
I don't think so. St. Kitts is way worse than Cuba. Cuba actually produces some players.
I concur. I'm just saying. I'm thinking Chase is probably going to finish. You know what? If they're smart, they wouldn't even play Chase. Fuck it. Hold him off. Hold him off to the next round.
Oh, they'll play him. They're rotating very heavily, though. No doubt. Like a whole different team.
It was a completely different team that against St. Kitts. So that's why we didn't beat them 45-0, you know?
All I'm asking is trim it down to like 16 teams. That's when the rest of the team join the big boys. Otherwise, playing St. Kitts and the Virgin Islands? Really? That's what you want? Is that bolster the Virgin Islands in any way except demoralize them completely?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. USA versus Virgin Islands. Let me just see. Where are these games being held at? Are they they're in Costa Rica, it looks like? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, I mean, what's the point of bringing these teams into this group stage? And
it's too early.
It is just a ginormous waste.
Trim the fat first. Get it down to like 12, 16 teams, then get into group stages. Like having group stages with the Virgin Islands? Really? Is that what we're doing here in St. Kitts? Like, this is a massacre. It's not even...
So there's no knockouts in this format. So I'm guessing, do the top teams move on?
I guess.
And then all of a sudden, you're just in the semifinals at the point?
I mean, it seems ridiculous. They can't figure out and do this better? God. I mean I don't think there's a scenario where the United States should be playing the Virgin Islands in a qualifier. It's going to be a fucking massacre.
It was.
And we saw other massacres. This wasn't the only one. There were a bunch of 7-0, 8-0, 9-0 games. I mean, this is obviously not the way to do this. But okay, don't trim it down.
Ping says first place goes to the World Cup. It's not first place. It's first and second place, generally speaking, it's the top 2 teams.
Yes.
In the end. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. But this most likely what's going to end up happening is it goes straight into the semis, and then the people who end up going to the finals, whether it's US, Mexico, or whoever else, just using them as an example, let's just say, those 2 may go on, and the other 2 who are in the semis who lose do not go to the World Cup. That's how it usually is. I don't know if they've expanded to 45,000 teams in the U17 World Cup now or not.
I don't care about that.
Only the first
all I care about is the format. The format needs to be changed. So we don't need.
Wow. Okay, never mind. Everybody's correcting us here. It's only first place.
Well, who's hosting it?
I thought I saw it was in Costa Rica.
The World Cup? U17.
Oh, the World Cup? I don't know that. No, I don't know that.
The U17 World Cup.
It used to always be the first and second place.
Oh, Costa Rica is hosting so they get an automatic bid.
Well, is that what it is?
I guess so. So there's only one spot left.
Okay.
Sorry, my folks, for not being more invested in the U17
Well, am I reading that
World
wrong?
Cup.
Maybe they're saying the only first team qualifies. I don't know. I'd have to bone up on this. Usually going to the World Cup itself, usually the first and second team end up moving on.
Qatar hosting.
Qatar's hosting it. Okay.
Okay. It's a qualification group, Umar, but it's a pitiful one. It's really pitiful. Like, can't we trim the fat before we get down to the group stages a little bit more? A little more? Just a little more? Can we trim it? Like, as Pink says, there are 48 teams.
But no, it's not just first. Okay, everybody's saying it's the first team must have been referring to the group stage. So yes, so USA is going to have to beat Cuba regardless. So yes, Chase Adams is going to start.
Yes. Okay.
8 teams from CONCACAF? That can't be right.
Well, the 48 team World Cup, yeah.
But I mean,
listen, if we're going to have this massive orgy in every World Cup, then I guess a lot of teams are going to make it from all kinds of different places. So we'll probably have not only New Zealand make it, but some of those tiny islands that are going to get absolutely slaughtered in the U17 World Cup if they make this 48 team U17 World Cup.
U17 qualifiers. All right, it doesn't matter. We'll deal with it when it comes out. This is too much to deal with on the fly here.
Yeah, no. Hey, Lamar, I get what you're saying. There are 41 teams in CONCACAF, but can we trim it down to like at least something reasonable, like 24, before Mexico, U.S., Costa Rica, the big boys get involved? Otherwise, I mean, I didn't learn dick squat from that massacre versus the Virgin Islands. I learned nothing about our team. I learned nothing about.
Oh, you know what?
What?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are in fact 8 groups. Okay, that makes more sense now. That's why there's Jesus. That's why we have them, Derek. That's why there's too many groups.
Too many groups. Trim it down a little bit more, and then the big teams come in. I'm sorry, because I mean, I'm not learning. What I want to do when I watch a game is learn something. But I guess if we have to go through this process, it might as well be a slaughter. But
let's look at the other groups here real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so here's Group A with Haiti at the top of the group. Okay.
U.S. obviously
with a 29 goal differential. Panama has an 11 against Dominican Republic, Aruba, and Grenada.
That's a more competitive group because Grenada is not going to suck. But they're sucking. They're sucking. They're sucking. Yeah.
No goals scored, 12 against. Yeah, they're sucking.
Aruba's sucking too.
There's a competitive group right there. Because Jamaica and El Salvador.
Fucking Cayman Islands, though.
Well, I mean, you disregard the other two.
They're more fucking alligators on that fucking island than people.
Well, this group has 5 in it, man. Look at that.
They're getting all funky, but Turks and Caicos, oh my God, they're going to get slaughtered. Anguilla, oh my God. I mean, Curacao, they shouldn't get that slaughtered. They should be fine.
But do we need to have 5 in a group though? Can't we just say, well, there's only going to be 4? One of you fucks are gone.
You do if you want to get all 41 in this bitch.
They got 5 as well. Look at that.
God, this is not how we do it. We eliminate some of these teams before we get to group stage. I'm sorry. Have a Caribbean championship, and the winners of the top 3 winners of the Caribbean championship make it to the group stages. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's the big thing, right? at this point, just take the top, the generic, say top 6 or top 8. Let's just say top 8 teams in CONCACAF.
Put them off to the side.
Maybe even take like the bottom 3 or 4 and have them play in a group stage by themselves with all these other island nations, just to verify that they should be in the octagonal.
I'd say the bottom 12 and only take 2. Honestly, because this is an embarrassment. Look at what is this? I can't even read that. Bonaire?
Is that really even I've never heard of this island before.
I mean, I've heard of St. Martin's at least.
Yeah, I've heard of Puerto Rico, I've heard of Dominica, I've heard of Barbados, I've heard of Belize.
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Look at the minus thing go on Dominica. Minus 19 goals.
Over 4 games, though. That's like 5 a game, I understand, but
they've scored 1 goal and given up 20.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just saying trim the fat before we get to the stage. That's all I'm saying.
No. I mean, that's a fair assessment to be made there, quite frankly.
And I don't really care that much. I'm just saying if I were organizing, I was to be like, all right, we're going to have the Caribbean teams fight it out. Top 4 will make, top 3 will make it out, top 4, whatever you want to come up with. But, let's get rid of the other 8 that don't even belong in this because they're just going to get slaughtered. And shit, Trinidad and Tobago would slaughter most of them too. Absolutely slaughter them. So, anyhow, we'll move on. We'll move on.
What says each group winner goes to the World Cup? I mean, that's just stupid.
Yeah, doing it like that is dumb. That's really dumb. To break them up into 8 groups, some have 5, some have 4. The winner.
Yeah, I know people wants to make their money and everything like that, but that's
they're trying to trim the expenses. That's why they're doing it. Because otherwise, if you had a more extensive tournament that went beyond the group stages, right, to decide, or you had to have prior tournaments before you had these group stages, it's too expensive. So you just have one tournament where you knock out, that's fine. All right. Derek still thinks this is a tournament. I don't think it's a tournament.
I'm seeing the group stage. I'm expecting some kind of a knockout. Is there not a knockout
There
stage?
is not. The winner of each group goes. The 8 groups. Yeah, it's completely...
Are there going to be any upsets? That's the big question. Are there going to be any upsets? I don't think so. I didn't see any.
Yeah, Johnny says, Derek, I kind of loathe teachers. You wouldn't loathe me. You'd like me a lot. All right. What else we got, Brett?
Well, I just wanted to talk about Chase Adams on the group, on the U17 group, because he says his take on the group is the mentality is kind of to prove to the world that we aren't just old U.S., that everyone can push to the side, and we're supposedly not such a special country. But it's to prove that we have the talent to play against the top countries of England, Spain, Brazil, Argentina, and that we are right up there with them.
You're not doing that playing against the Virgin Islands, so he's gonna have to prove that later.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't. Nobody's gonna look at these games and go, "Oh, God, USA, man."
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna say that shit. The setup is so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Whatever. You gotta appease FIFA and the money making machine by having 8 CONCACAF teams
and 48 teams total. Yeah, 48 fucking teams.
8 CONCACAF teams. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I listen. We don't even know how many teams Oceania's getting. It could be up to 3.
Why not? We're looking at 8 CONCACAF teams.
I mean, which
means Haiti's probably going to go to the World Cup at this point.
So you'll probably get like one of the Samoas making the team from Oceania. I don't know which ones are going to make it, but it's not going to be good. Vanuatu. I don't know which island nation's going to make it. And they're going to get slaughtered in the U17 World Cup. Absolutely slaughtered.
The funny thing is that Chase Adams actually scored more goals in one game than most top teams of each group scored, period.
Correct.
a couple of teams obviously were above that, but most of the teams. He scored 9 or 10 goals in one fucking game. I mean, come on. Nobody's looking at this any form of seriousness.
New Caledonia, that's probably one of the ones in Oceania that will make it, or the Solomon Islands. Not a bad pick. But the fact that there's going to be New Zealand and 2 other shrinky-dink small peckerwoods, micro penises there playing, yeah, not good for the tournament. It's going to be an absolute blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Blowout for the other guys that make it from Oceania outside of New Zealand, who will be somewhat competitive, but have no shot at winning the tournament. All right. Anyhow, let's move on.
Moving on to a new topic. I think we've hit that dead horse enough.
Yep. Fiji,
all
maybe.
Right.
It's another good one.
Let's move on to
transfer news. Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
All right. That was
good
me.
News.
That was me when I was younger.
Yeah.
That ending part.
Whatever. Good news, Derek. We got Jonathan Lewis making a name for himself, trying to compete with other wingers in the U.S. men's national team pool by getting signed by Barnsley.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to give him any shit for going to Barnsley. I mean, you need to make money, and MLS ain't quite working out right now for him. So why not give it a shot?
Do you think he's actually going to make more money at Barnsley than he does at MLS?
I mean, he could go to USL.
Oh, that's true. I guess if he doesn't have any options in MLS, yes.
I just don't think that.
I don't know. I didn't even know Jonathan Lewis was still playing, to tell you the truth.
He is. Yeah, he is. I mean, playing. But what is Barnsley? League One?
League One.
So, yeah, that's about right for him.
Yeah.
So that'll work for him. Thanks,
downgrade from MLS, and
we won't be tracking him for the Americans Abroad report.
Yeah. We checked the other Yank defender there from time to time.
Yeah, from time to time. We're talking about the Norwich kid.
No, the Barnsley kid. He's a DC guy, and he was playing with Gaga for the longest time. Somebody's gonna have his name here in a second.
We probably do that one. Yes.
There you go. Pines. Donovan Pines.
Yeah, we did that because at some point wasn't Selena actually playing for Barnsley. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's when
Pines got swept into it.
And he got swept into my tracking because I'd be like, oh, I wonder how Slonina did. Oh, look, Pines played. There you go.
Well, it's more like Pines is playing every game. Oh, look, Slonina played. That's what it should have been.
Might as well report it since I had to go look it up.
Mm-hmm. Johnny for $2 says, sing the Tarzan Boy chorus, please.
I don't know that.
Sorry, Johnny, that one's beyond me.
I don't know Tarzan Boy.
Tarzan Boy?
Is that from Jungle Book?
Well, that's not Tarzan.
Yeah, you're right.
The closest thing to Tarzan you can come with an actual course would be like George of the jungle, strong as he might be.
I like the Elephant's March the best. Elephant's March was my favorite one from Jungle Book. From the original Jungle Book movie.
I get you.
All right. Anyhow, I can't.
I mean, as much as I like to be able to decipher what you asked me to do, I cannot decipher that one enough to know.
Yeah, I'm gone on that one.
To do, man.
Yeah, that's out of my.
Colonel H. It's from the '60s. We marched from town to town.
No.
Yeah, it's not. That's more Derek than will ever be for me. So
yeah, it's not ringing a bell at all.
It's 80s suck apparently.
Okay. All right.
All right. We gave that at least 2 minutes more than we should have. Sorry, Johnny.
Sorry, Johnny. We tried. All right. For the 180 of you here right now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma. Give your stepsister a big fat wet kiss just from us. Fabian Rankel. Per my sources, I can confirm that Slavia Praha's interest for Max Austin is real. This is the first of many European clubs that will become barking up the Columbus Cruise tree for Austin. Yeah, well, then let's just wait for the other ones.
So Europe has apparently watched our video about the African dogs and just assume that in order to talk to any Americans, they got to bark, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. But
yeah, he's not leaving for Slavia Praha. It's not gonna happen. It's already toast anyways. He can't get moved now anyways. But it was nice that they had real interest in him.
Oh yeah, they sized up his testicles and everything for his jock strap.
Like measuring. Okay.
Yep. Didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there'll be more interest later on, especially if he continues to get Camp Cupcake call-ups.
Yep. All right. Eric Palmer Brown subbed out with, I had this on my report, my midweek report. Yes, subbed out with an injury for Panathinaikos in the 37th minute of the Conference League game, trailing Viking Reykjavik 1-0. Really tough news for a player who has struggled to stay healthy. Yeah, it's not good.
Just got back, literally. Just got back and bam.
Played like what, 4 games total? 3?
Yeah, some of those lines, yeah. You thought he was going to be on the up and up, and then bam, he gets hit with an injury. I'm not sure what the injury is, but I don't read a fictional language down here. I'm not sure what this is.
I heard it was friction. He rubbed up too hard against another player.
I mean,
started a fire, caused blisters.
How do you read that right there? I mean, triangle, utipin. How do you have triangle in your language?
I don't read any Greek. It's hopeless. I have no idea what that is. At least I got a chance with German and French and Spanish. I got no shot with this.
All right. Sorry, PB. You need to get out of Greece, man. Greece is where people die. Not literally, but
Brett, Greece is the word. Greece is the word, the word.
I don't know. I heard bird is the word, actually, there.
Greece is the word, man.
Bird is the word.
No, Greece is the word in the movie Grease.
Oh.
It's a song.
That's cool.
Sung by numerous people, but I think including John Travolta. I might be wrong on that one.
It's pretty cool, Derek.
You've never seen the movie Grease?
I've absolutely seen Grease.
You don't remember the song? Grease is the word?
I don't remember the song Grease is the word now.
Grease is the word. It's the word. It's the word. It's got something in motion or whatever. Lotion. Obviously, Grease has got motion because it's slippery.
No, I don't remember that song.
Okay.
See now. I remember Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning.
Yep.
Lamar Reynolds says bread is a jive turkey.
It's electrifying. All right. Anyhow, next. Eric. Oh, we're done with that.
Good news, Derek. Your boy's up to USL.
It's sad.
It really is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at this, do you think Gideon really wants this presser to go out? New Mexico welcomes former Arsenal FC Academy product.
Yeah.
He's going, oh, God, how far have I fallen? Because I only have one knee left, or no knees, actually.
Look at the fall. Arsenal, Rangers, Kansas City, New York City. Yeah, this is
they didn't even mention his second division Holland stint.
Dutch, yeah, don't even mention that club.
That's not even worth it. That's below USL.
Probably, yeah, it is. No, it is. So, yeah, okay, there you go. Gideon, what could have been, but for those knee injuries.
Oh, I mean, that's the shameful aspect of it, really. I mean, if he didn't have those knee injuries, who knows where this guy would have been the limit for this guy.
I just remember that interview when it was at NYFC where they interviewed him. He's like, yeah, it's been years now and I still can't get back the confidence to cut the way I used to.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's all. That's our argument whenever we talk about players, and they're like coming back from certain injuries, especially when you're talking about knee injuries. That's the worst.
Den Bosch, by the way, that was the team.
Oh yeah,
Den Bosch. Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, so and so's healthy. He's going to be in contention for this spot." And we're like, "Well, he's coming back from a knee injury. Why don't we see what happens first?"
Yeah,
because
why we're cautious about that.
It is. Knee injuries suck, and it is a horrific thing to return from because most of it's mental.
Yep.
Especially if you've popped it a couple times.
I mean, Gooch used to talk about that too, and Yewo was like, "Yeah, they said it was fixed, but I just didn't believe it."
It's like 90% mental to get over that injury. You go through the work. I mean, I remember when I got my knee worked on, and the doctor, I went to a sports doctor or whatever. Mind you, I'm in my late 20s at this point. I don't really know what a sports doctor, but that's who they signed me to for my knee surgery, surgery and rehab. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's stronger than ever." I'm like, "I don't believe you."
Scroll back up and get Jack Pineda's last post, by the way.
This one right here?
My dog was wondering. First of all, Jack, your dog's not wondering shit.
You're wondering. It's projection. That's projection, Jack.
If she can fit your head in her vagina. Your dog's not thinking that at all. You're thinking it. And
that's
vagina, pretty.
Do you mean something different?
I think you're just projecting your own thoughts onto your dog. That's not fair to your dog, Jack. Give your dog a break. She don't want this giant head in this vagina. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and your head's a nice little round head too. It's not even a long like oval head. It's just like
a giant fucking head. I'd bust that vagina. You don't want to do that to your dog.
Weird conversations we have on this channel, guys.
That's a weird statement, but I had to bring it up.
Lamar says Jack's dog is a hoe.
This is a hoe.
Greg Turalder says, "You guys messed me up with that one." Gideon, wow, forgot that kid was on the planet. Yeah, that's the problem, man. Derek, how old do you think how old is he?
26.
Somewhere along that. Yeah, he should be in his prime.
Yep.
He should be up there competing with the Pulisics and Way at this point.
Yep.
But knee injury after knee injury, and it fucked his career.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, as Fumer points out, Sabi is in MLS now too. So he left.
Yeah, we talked about that I think last show actually.
Le Havre. So, yep.
Okay. Houston Dynamo midfielder Jack McGlynn has attracted interest from Serie A clubs like AC Monza, Udinese, and Venezia.
Udinese.
What'd I say?
Udinese?
That's fair. Yeah, I messed that up. I do know it's Udinese. So, Serie B clubs like Sassuolo and Cesena. Cesena? Hey, look at that.
You nailed it.
Are also interested. Venezia and Cesena tried to sign him last summer, but Philadelphia Union refused the offers. While Venezia offered, and they said no, and they said, we're just going to transfer him over to the Houston Dynamo instead.
What is the fucking point of this post? He's at Houston. He's not going to any of these teams.
You're fine having all this interest, all the interest in the world. It's not going to make a lick of difference.
It's the biggest jerk-off post ever posted. It's like, oh, squirt, all these clubs were interested, and look, we got him here at Houston. Oh, give me a fucking break. Good for you, I suppose. It just says that none of those other teams were offering diddly poo for him, which is why he took the Houston deal where he's going to get paid more. There you go. Yeah. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the point of that post of like squirting Venezia's name out and Sassuolo and Udine. Oh, look at all this Italian cream all over the wall. Oh, look at that.
It's kind of weird that they're all Italian teams too, and there's not a single like UK side, championship or whatever, because I mean he can get a UK passport and everything and all.
I don't get it. It's like, look at all the Parmesan colored sauce we are squirting on the walls. Look at that. Oh, he's such a good player. But no, he's here in MLS. Okay. All right. Well,
just do a light squirt over here.
It's just like, come on, man. What is the point of that fucking post? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know what that proved or what point he wanted to get across, except for the whole Italian lower league system was squirting fucking Parmesan cheese juice all over the wall for him. And nobody would offer him enough, so he went back to MLS. Great.
Yeah, they said there were a couple of offers that were close to what Houston was offering, but Houston offered maybe just a little bit more. And
it says more about Jack McGlynn than anything else. He's like, I really don't want to get paid less. I'd rather get paid more and go to Houston. That's what he said. Because you know what? In the end, you're the boss of your agent. And if you get all this Italian jizz thrown at you, and you're like, well, it's not enough jizz. I just want some Houston jizz. And you take the Houston jizz, which is a lot bigger load of jizz, and you're just willing to settle for that. And yeah, what does that matter? Any of those other teams don't. It's meaningless.
So the move to Houston, and I think I posed this as a question. I never really got an answer, maybe. But is it sort of like the move that Miles did to Cincy, where his contract didn't necessarily get extended on the move over? He didn't sign a new contract. It was the same contract, and he was going to go over to Cincy to play for one season. And there was always the talk that, he's going to go to Europe after that, which never really happened. But is that thing? Is Jack going to Houston and like running out his last of his contract out in Houston until maybe they sell him or something? I don't know.
Listen, as Jack Pineda asked, does jizz taste good? In this case, is that why he wants more jizz, Derek? I think we're talking about jizz as in metaphorically being the money. Even though there's a lot of Italian jizz all over the wall, you could combine those and they would probably amount to what Houston is paying him, because really, honestly, he's going to get paid more than Houston. And that's on Jack. If Jack was like, I would rather have a little jizz and make a mark in Europe, or he's like, I want a lot of jizz and stay in MLS, I think he took the jizz. The more jizz route.
Make a bigger mark, as like on the wall, and you bring the black lights out and you're like, whoa, wait a second here.
Right. He didn't want like a threesome. He wanted a full bukkake. So he's off to Houston.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, we're branching off of transfer news. That's all the transfer news we had, guys. All the big transfer news is hit. And we're going to be talking about the potential of UEFA opting to sign a potential new global commercial rights deal and move some of their Champions League games and finals to the U.S.
Johnny didn't like all this, so he said, fuck it, I'm going to Wendy's. It's too much jizz talk for oh my God.
Johnny, don't ask what's in the Frosties. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, yeah. We'll tamp down on the jizz talk. All right.
All right, so hey Derek, how do you feel about some Champions League games and the finals being in the U.S.?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah,
I think it's just money. That's again, we get all back to money. Hey, why don't we play the fucking Super Bowl in South Korea? I don't know, but I just think it sounds stupid.
As I mentioned, I go, if truly being considered, I would imagine that that a global commercial rights deal could be struck while these European teams actually play in Europe.
Yes.
I mean, what is hosting the games in the U.S.? Some games, not all games, but some games. And they specify this. What's the actual verbiage here? Include Champions League games, including the final. So you could have some knockout stages. You could have some group stages.
NFL does it. NFL does regular season games in England.
That's
fine.
True.
In Germany. Sure. In Germany.
Sure.
Colts played in Germany this year or whatever. Okay.
But so I imagine whatever deal they can crack for global rights here in the U.S., they can do it in Europe too, is my point. But I said, hey, will these games be isolated to the East Coast? Could you imagine a time zone difference between Milan and Zagreb?
Yeah.
Match being held in L.A.
Not a good thing. No.
Like, people in Milan are going, Jesus Christ, I gotta wake up at noon for work. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, the players would be like, I'm playing a game what is in
halfway around the world.
But it would be 1 a.m. for me, usually. Yeah. I just think that's
we gotta fly out to LA to play this one match and then fly back and play Coppa Italia and then some regular Serie A league games within the same week. How does that work out? I mean, you're going to be running your teams ragged, and I know the ownerships don't give a fuck. They're like, hey, we're going to make a shit ton of money. Yeah, you guys can run your asses off. Fuck it.
But you sum it up best in your very last sentence. Seems a bit much, but never second guess the degrees of greed.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's what this is about.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
It's all about the cash money, bitch.
I mean, I promise you, the amount of money UEFA makes for Champions League rights around the world is you could be in any country around the world, and if you want to watch a Champions League match, I guarantee you have the ability to do so for the most part.
Keep in mind, this will be a UEFA decision, not a FIFA one.
Correct.
So I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. Like, not now. But it's certainly something they are throwing out there and percolating just to get people's nuts ready for the rub.
Listen, as I have no shits to give in this entire thing at all.
I don't either.
Whatever you do you. All the teams that are participating in Champions League and are parts of UEFA, you're the ones that are going to have to throw a fucking stink about this. Not the owners. The owners are going to be happy as big and shit. They're like, oh fuck, money. It's the fans that are going to have to sit there and bitch until the owners are like, well, geez, we shouldn't be doing this shit.
You know, it often occurs to me on our show when we talk like we do that we're assuming everybody knows like what FIFA is and UEFA is. Like, I don't know. Do we have any new people like you think show up and they hear us talk for like 5 minutes? Or like, the fuck's FIFA? The fuck's UEFA? I don't know what any of this fucking shit is. Fuck this show.
Well, I would hope they know what FIFA is. Because I mean,
they do.
That's universal. Their games and all that stuff. If you're watching our show, I imagine you've probably played a FIFA game once or twice in your lifetime. But as far as UEFA or CONCACAF, when we talk about CONCACAF, I would imagine that more people probably know what UEFA is before CONCACAF because the UEFA Champions League, you know?
My parents and my brother who watch soccer on the regular have no fucking clue what CONCACAF means.
Exactly, right?
Or how to pronounce it. They're like that CONCACAF. CONCACAF. I think Pat McAfee even fucked that shit up really bad on his show. Colts hero. All right. Anyhow, so I think you nailed it here, and I just think, this is about a money grab, and if they want to do it, as you said, I got no dog in this fight. You want to bring the fucking Champions League final to New York City or wherever? Fine. Bring it to Indianapolis. I'll probably go attend.
As a fucking bet. I mean, imagine that there's going to be sellout crowds, especially if there's a Yank on the team, you know?
Right, but don't be surprised if there are riots in the street in Europe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what time does the game have to be? Even in New York, let's just say the game's being held. The finals are being held in New York. What time does it have? What time do you think the game has to take place in New York for it to be an acceptable time in Europe? 10? You're talking about a 5 to 8 hour difference there. So you're like, what, like 6? Noon?
I think 6 would still work.
6 p.m.
5.
6 p.m. would be like 11 o'clock UK time.
Right. I mean, if it's on the East Coast.
That's a 5-hour difference, man.
I don't think so. I think it's a 4. I might be wrong.
We may be splitting hairs there. Time difference.
Between New York City and London.
New York and London.
3 hours might be.
5. London, UK is 5 hours ahead of New York City.
No fucking shit.
So, and then you added Milan. I'm using Milan as an example because of Pulisic. Let's just keep going with that. That's an 8-hour difference right there. So that's what I was saying. Does the game have to be played at noon on like Saturday for it to be a reasonable time frame?
I still think 6.
I mean, let's just assume Milan makes it to the finals. That means people would be sitting there in Milan at 2 a.m. watching Milan play.
They probably would, but they'll be pissed about it. They'll be pissed about it.
That's my point, right?
Yeah, exactly. For the 207 of you here, thank you for helping us crack 200 on a Thursday. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. God damn it, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Help us out. Like, this show is just a couple of guys drinking and talking soccer. And generally, we know our shit. We we are selective about breaking news. We don't just make shit up. Never do we just make shit up on this show. Like, if we broke the turkey friendly here. Like, before anybody else, we broke it because we got good connections and good people.
Oh, okay. I thought you were actually talking about Turkey, not the country of Turkey.
Turkey.
Turkey, I think it is.
Turkey, I think.
I think there's like 7 Ks and 3 U's.
I mean, there's 200 people here. There should be at least 100 likes and a few new subscribers. That's what I think. Anyhow, it's just me. All right.
Good news, Derek. Indy 11 might actually participate in a league with promotion relegation that includes a Division 1 league.
Dream on.
No, we're not going to dream on because USL is filing for Division 1 status.
As Aerosmith once said, dream on, dream on. We'll see how that works. We really will have to see how that works.
Here's the new setup for the pyramid, MLS and USL, the Division 1s, and then USL 1, USL 2.
God, I cannot. I want to be a fly on the wall, Brett, on the discussions between the MLS board.
Actually, not that's the current pyramid.
And the USL, okay? When Don Garber's in the room about making USL a first division team. Do I want it to have, like, they're going to pick 12 or 14 teams from their current championship lineup and move them and vouch or vie for a first division team? I want to see how that conversation goes with dickhead in the room. That's what I want to see.
I mean, quite frankly, in theory, it shouldn't matter at all. I mean, it shouldn't make a difference how Don Garber and MLS really think, as long as USL can meet these 4 expectations. They have to have a minimum of
rules.
They have to have a minimum of 12 to 14 teams, or 12 teams, 14 by the 3rd year. 75% of the teams have to be within a metropolitan market of at least 1 million players. Now we'll get into that 1 million.
They can get that
1
done.
million people. 100%, yes. And I got a whole thing pulled up about it. Teams must be located on East, Central, and Pacific times, which they can do it.
They can do that with the 4. Like, if they pluck 12 or 14 teams from current championship, they could get that done.
They could. Stadiums with at least 15,000 seats. That's a question mark.
That is.
Now, more and more teams are investing in soccer-specific stadiums. But yeah, the first 3 in this scenario are guaranteed. The other one they don't talk about is the pockets of the owner. The owner has to have a certain amount they're worth.
Free spending money. Yep.
Yeah. So going over that, here are the current teams in the championship, and the teams
the
here.
Capacity is a huge problem for a lot of these teams.
Well, I mean, at least the first 10 teams, or whatever this is,
almost all of them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top 8, you could easily have a 15,000 seat stadium, and maybe have some empty seats, of course. But again, this is
are you talking about them converting what they currently have into? Because as you see, these are all under 15,000. All of them in the top 8.
Sure. So I'll flat out say it. Louisville are maxed out in their seating capacity right now in their current seating. Indy 11 is currently maxed out in their current
absolutely maxed out.
Now, mind you, we're going to be getting a new stadium here shortly, which is an 18,000 seater. And it's still underway. I mean, who knows what's going to happen at this point?
Yeah, I don't know.
And if USL goes D1 by 2027, I mean, we still don't have any. We have no word as far as MLS is concerned outside of that initial jump for whatever MLS team here in Indy. So I don't know what's happening as a whole. But I mean, as you can see, looking at the metropolitan area, there's only a couple of teams that don't quite fit that range, but everybody else is in a market that could compete there.
Dude, we're looking at 15,000.
Current capacity for Birmingham is 47,000. That's max, I guess.
Listen,
yeah,
we're looking at 15,000 is what they need to get to.
Well, And I think what's being missed about this entire topic is that USL is talking about potentially implementing promotion relegation. Now, here's the big problem with this, because I see the likes of Tack and I see Pete saying, "Hey, give me promotion relegation and I'll support it," or "It's not going to work unless you have promotion relegation because it's just going to be MLS 2.0."
Yeah.
And here's the problem, though. Let's say they go through this list, they get 12 to 14 teams that meet the criteria, and then you implement promotion relegation, and then all of a sudden you have a team from like Tulsa that comes up. All of a sudden, that Tulsa team doesn't meet the regulations for D1 status.
And it'll be like Mexico, where they send them back down.
So
Italy, they've done this to Italian teams.
So in order for promotion relegation to actually work in this league or in this country, U.S. soccer is going to have to change their requirements.
Right, to like 10,000?
Or just, remove the
I don't think you can remove them because let's say some tiny little and they have these rules in England too, right? It's like if you have to have a certain capacity beyond. If you start getting to the League One, League Two, League One especially, there's some very basic, but then you get Championship, then you're hitting even higher levels, and then once you hit EPL, you got to have a basic amount of seating, not only for your fans but for the away fans, right?
Yeah, and I guess the bigger question there is whether or not it's got to be soccer specific. So, say a team like Tulsa, let's just use them as an example, moves up into Division One, and they don't meet the criteria for stadium seating and stuff like that. Could they, in fact, go and get a stadium that is in their area? I don't know if Tulsa has anything.
Yeah, you could play at one of the big universities there that have 25,000. Yeah,
that'd be the question there. Like, is that what they're going to have to do in the end? And that's probably going to have to be the case until they can invest in their own stadium. But whether or not they will be able to is a big question. Regardless, Ryan Shipley says like Luton Town last year, they had to add to their stadium in order to play the Premier League.
Yep.
So
listen, this is an uphill fucking battle for USL.
It's not so easy as just saying, "Hey, we're Division One, let's go."
And can we be really honest? Since I have,
Derek, we have more understanding of USL than most people who bitch about this shit. So yeah, by all means, say what you can. What you can say.
Okay, I don't want to say this without. I have talked to a number of top executives at USL clubs over the last 4 or 5 years, and especially in the last 2 or 3. So I don't want to single out anybody. And they've all said the same thing to me. No fucking way we're getting relegated. We're paying to build this fucking stadium. We're paying to build this. We're paying for infrastructure. We're paying for youth development. And now you're going to relegate my ass? So even the USL owners are going to fight like hell against promotion and relegation. I will guarantee it because I know them. Going back all the way to the fucking Indy 11 days. I know these guys. They are not looking forward to promotion and relegation. So say what you will, because they're investing all this money in youth, even women's teams, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, fuck that. We've made an investment to build this stadium or refurbish this stadium. We're investing millions of dollars into USL. We're paying the fee to be in USL, and now you're going to relegate our ass?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying the same shit MLS owners are saying. I'm just being absolutely honest here. Like, if I'd be a liar, and I'm not pointing any specific owner or executive out here because I don't want to do that. I'm just telling you the reality of that. That's how it goes.
Yeah. The only thing is none of the stadium in USL are paid for by the owners of the team.
Correct.
They're all paid by the state or city itself. So in the end, if they're going to enforce a promotion relegation system in the long run, let's just say maybe not necessarily, hey, we're going to get Division 1 status in 2027. By 2028, we'll have promotion relegation. That's not going to happen. But maybe by 2038, you give those teams 10 years to really do what they got to do with those new stadiums. And at that point, enforce it. Maybe you can get away with that.
I talked to somebody at the USL offices when PNR was first being broached. I don't know, what's this, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And he's like, fucking hate the big teams, the bigger teams in USL, the bigger investors, the bigger owners, executives, all told us to go fuck ourselves. I'm just telling you, it's not much different than MLS. So if it does happen, I still will be surprised. And it's not as happy and glorious. Oh, yeah, USL Championship or USL Premier League, which is probably what they're going to call it, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that now. It's USL Premier League, USL Championship, League One. It's going to be based off the English system. I probably am revealing too much, but I'm just telling you, there are going to be guys that are going to say, fuck no to that. And they're already saying fuck no to it. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth.
Quite frankly, though, I mean, if they're aiming to have a professional club at this point, they're not going to have much of a ground to stand on. They can't just say, yeah, fuck you. Where are they going to go?
Yeah, you got nowhere to go. Where are you going to go?
They can shut up shop, but then they'd just be shutting up shop completely because they can't go lower down in USL because that's
you're going to go to Nisa
relegation at the point. Yeah, exactly.
You can't go to Nisa. Hey, God bless Peter Will. We love Peter Will, but yeah, that's not going anywhere. PT69 giggity for $5. Nice. Here's an idea. Don't get relegated. If you do get relegated, get promoted. Problem solved easy. Hey, listen, we got no problem with that. I'm just telling you a reality of what I'm hearing from these people. I still have contacts from my days being much more involved in lower league soccer. And I'm telling you what they're telling me, which is also why, by the way, this show was able to break who the investors and owners were for the new Indy 11 team. Well,
Indy 11, but the new Indy MLS team.
MLS adventure. Like, I still know all these people. So I still get all this info. People still tell me shit. I'm just telling you, the big owners and USL, the people who've been propping up the league for a long time, and even people who have entered into it in the last 5 to 6 years, want nothing to do with promotion and relegation.
The funny thing is, I'll flat out tell you, the big investing owners, they don't want to take the chance to possibly get relegated. Because here's the thing: you can look at where teams have been finishing over the last decade. And those teams that actually invest money in stadium, youth development, and the team itself, those are always going to be in the top half of the league, guaranteed. They don't have anything to really concern themselves with outside the fluke chance that maybe they get fucked over one season.
One season, you have a bad season. And that's what they always say. So I have one bad season in all the millions of dollars that I've invested in helping USL build this league. And I'm now a fucking League One team. Fuck you, is what they said to me. I mean, so many words.
Well,
that's not happening.
That's why I said, maybe if they do, because they've been talking about it, and I understand that some of the owners may say no to it and everything, but they've been talking about there are individual ownerships instead of the franchises like an MLS. But I mean, USL could say, hey, in order for us to really compete against MLS, we're going to need to try something different, and that might be the inclusion of promotion relegation. What we'll say is we're going to start at this year, and we won't do it for, say, 10 years.
They're not hearing it.
I know that. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I agree. I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you, Derek. I know for a fact.
I know. Here's the thing. Can you not in any way empathize with them in a way? Because they have poured all this fucking money, and they basically kept USL afloat against MLS, who's been absolutely trashing them and fucking distancing them and making sure they can't get a step up. And they're like, we're here. We're the life support. We're the life support of this league. And now you're going to tell us we're going to take a back step? Well, then fuck off. Fuck, I'm not going to be a life support anymore. I might even de-invest and take my money and go fucking buy a WNBA team. Yeah, that's what I'm here. I'm just saying. It's what I hear. It's what people tell me. All I can say is that's what they tell me.
Well, I mean, and most investors, most owners, quite frankly, at this point, investing in soccer are looking at it as if it's an American league in the sense that there's no promotion relegation. You just, here's my investment, and then I just coast season by season and maybe make certain things, changes here, go from here, do this. But as a whole, I've got no risk of financial failure unless the league fails.
And again, this is like 3 or 4, 5 people. Sorry, I had to count it in my head. So it's not just one person telling me this. Is multiple executives and owners of USL teams telling me this shit. Just saying. It's not one person. Yeah. All right. I
guess the risky thing at this point would be if U.S. Soccer were to finally grow a backbone and work with FIFA and just say, hey, FIFA's requiring us to do promotion relegation across the board. MLS is going to be Division 1. USL is going to be Division 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then just force the ownership's hands, period. But they'll never do it because that's where money floods into the national team through those same ownership. So,
is there any record of USL owners talking about being against promotion and relegation? I'm sure there is. I'm sure some of them said something in public. It came out in news stories. So
I have to research that one.
I would have to research it because
all I know is that Jay Berhalter was talking about how they've been discussing promotion relegation. So
Jay would like to do it for sure. Yep.
All right, Eric, I'm going to push you on to Yanks Abroad report or midweek report or whatever, and I'm going to be right back.
All right. So Reyna was in the 18 on Tuesday for Dortmund, and guess what happened? He didn't get to play. Fuck Dortmund. Get the fuck out of there as soon as goddamn possible. That means next transfer window. Get the fuck out in the summer window. Get out. Go. Leave. Campbell was sent back to, by the way, the 2 team. Actually, he was sent all the way back to the U19 team because they were playing some sort of youth championships. He did play in it. But, yeah, Reyna, I don't even get it anymore. I really don't. He plays, he scores. He plays, he assists. He doesn't play that much. And now with Sahin gone, the plan to play Reyna and many of the young players, it seems, isn't absolute. It certainly is not absolute with Reyna. And he doesn't really seem to fit into the new coach's plans there at Dortmund. Fucking Dortmund's a fucking dumpster fire anyhow. Get the fuck out of that team. Fuck him. Now, I don't care. They're going to lose a lot of money on that deal because they're going to probably sell him for 8, 9, 10, maybe best. But he needs to force his way out of there. I hate watching Dortmund now. I can't stand watching that team. Not only because Reyna doesn't play, because they're shit. This is not the Dortmund that I'm used to watching. The glory days of Dortmund. I watch that team and it's painful to watch it. So fuck that team. And I'm not even a Dortmund fan, but I used to enjoy it, watching it, of course, because Pulisic was there. And now Reyna's there. Those were great glory days. The Holland, Bellingham, Reyna era. So fun to watch. This is not fun to watch, whether Reyna's on the pitch or not. All right. McKennie, a goal, played 68 minutes. Weah went 90 minutes in that win. I mean, McKennie got the goal. I thought Weah was a better player overall. I like how Weah is developing mentally, mostly. He just got confidence. Not that McKennie lacks it. He doesn't. But he kind of looked a little lost out there for parts of the game. But when it mattered, he hit that rocket. And we've all seen it. And that was against PSV, which is just, it's just like Dest injury, Tillman injury, Deppy injury. So we got to watch Ledesma, lose the game. Haji Wright, still injured, didn't play for Coventry. Ethan Horvath, in the 18, he Horvathed it. Brendan Aronson, 90 minutes and a win for Leeds, who still sit top of the table, the championship. It is time at some point to give Brendan Aronson his props. He's a great player for that team. Now we'll see what happens when Aronson has to move back to the Premiership and whether or not they don't go out and find another player to replace him. I did talk about Reina while you were gone, by the way, and threw many nasty words at Dortmund and said, fuck him in the asshole. And
I mean, it's just one thing because during league play, he came in for like 5 minutes plus stoppage and then doesn't play at all in the Champions League. I mean,
where he used to start under Sahin, he started the Champions League games.
It boggles my mind in that sense that if the new coach, obviously they couldn't gauge us until
he's an asshole, by the way.
If he had no interest in really playing, then Dortmund just had to have offloaded him at some point. But at
they're going to have to.
He's going to be right. He's going to be riding pine, and it's only going to hurt his value in the summer.
I was projecting he'd go at they have to sell him off at $9 million when he was once worth what, 60?
I mean, how bad would it have been to just loan him out to a lower, bottom table Bundesliga team?
Mainz?
Sure. Just say, hey, you relegation fodder fucks. Don't you want Reina? Just pay me $500,000 for them for the second half of the season.
Holstein Kiel?
Seriously.
Anybody.
Let him fight for a chance there, and then he, if anything, that half the season he might be able to work his way up in the value a little bit more.
I think the perception that he doesn't play defense, which I believe is 80% incorrect and 20% correct, it's just killing him right now. And Dortmund aren't making that look any better right now. They're just not by not playing him. So
Mainz apparently won the loan, but Dortmund played hardball, according to Fumar.
Yeah, and that was early on in the discussions. I'm wondering, as the coach got fired and they got later into it, they were like, well, maybe we should have. Maybe we should have. Yeah. Because this new coach, this new guy, by the way, I don't think he's going to turn shit around in Dortmund. That Dortmund team is broken in so many ways, sideways and backways.
At this point, maybe he can pull. Given the talent on the team, they should be contending. Even with a shithole coach, should be contending for a Europa spot. Come on.
He's not a shithole coach. He's a hardcore. You will fucking run to the max and you will fucking play hardcore soccer 90 minutes guy. And that's not Reina. So he's not going to fit into that. Sahin was his hope. Sahin is gone. Reina needs to get the fuck out of Dodge as fast as possible now. Now that Sahin is gone. We were hopeful with Sahin. I got no hope left. None. All right. We moved past while you were gone. McKennie and Wea and Ledesma, Haji Wright and Ethan Horvath and Brendan Aronson. Sargent went 60 pretty hopeless minutes for Norwich against Dwayne Holmes, who went 22 for Preston North End. Preston North End gets the win. It's so funny. Go ahead.
I was saying, did you watch the match? I think I was watching.
Yes, I did.
Why did he get subbed down to 60th?
Nothing was going on.
Oh, okay.
Nothing was really happening. It was just
change anybody else up on that pitch. I'm not sure why you take Sargent out.
He wasn't injured, as far as I could tell.
Maybe they're just sort of playing it safe at that point. Like, hey, things aren't working out in this game. We're just going to make sure Sargent, doesn't get hurt again.
If I'm the coach, I'm not taking Sargent out.
I mean, I wouldn't if he's ready to play. There's a reason why every coach that comes in and coaches him plays him.
I mean, he might be managing his minutes.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's all I can think of.
But he played 80 some odd minutes the game before.
Yeah. I love it when Tack does his Yanks Abroad report, and even in this one, where he's like, yeah, Sargent played blah, blah. Is there any acknowledgement at all that Dwayne Holmes even exists?
No. Tact only really covers the top 23 players, more or less, in Europe.
Dwayne Holmes exists. He played 22 minutes in Preston North End won the game.
Eric, that's the difference. That's the difference between our Yanks Abroad report. You cover legitimately people in Bundesliga 4.
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, right?
Well, I'm digging in here. Figueroa.
He's not covering Holmes because Holmes has 0.0 chance of ever cracking the U.S. men's national team at this point.
I don't think it's even that low if you really looked at his contributions, but right now it's pretty low. It's like 5%. I'd say 5%.
I feel like it would take a significant number of injuries before Holmes gets another call up.
I'd agree. I'd agree. He can play CAM and winger though.
And I'm just saying. I think U.S. Soccer and I think Poch will probably call in MLS players before he starts calling in Holmes.
Fair enough.
And that's sad. When Holmes played for us, that one window, I was like looking at him like, okay, this kid can ball. And then he didn't get called back in ever again. I'm just like, oh, fuck. That's because he had his beef with Berhalter.
Yeah, the beef with Berhalter did not help him. Figueroa went 15 for Liverpool's U19s. They did lose to Stuttgart's U19s in that youth tournament or youth match.
Did you see Cochin make that PK save?
Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, man. You cut you off there.
That wasn't on Tuesday, though. That's on Wednesday? Was it on Wednesday? Well, we'll find out.
I remember seeing it on Twitter. That's all I remember.
It was on Wednesday. On Wednesday, Pulisic went a completely where were you? Were you even playing? 60 minutes?
Hey, you know what? One game every now and then. Whatever.
I just don't see how Yao Felix is. I thought he sucked. And I didn't think he helped. And his ball distribution was crap, and he held on to it too many times, and he tried too many fucking things that, whoa, dude, just pass it to the open dude. Why are you trying to dribble past two dudes? What the fuck's wrong with you? Anyhow, so Pulisic was a ghost. Musa got that red card, so he couldn't play.
Johnny says, Windy Run was a success.
Who's Wendy?
He went to Wendy's, remember? We were talking about all the bukkake and jizz from McGlynn.
Yeah, good for you, my man. All right, Trusty went 90. CCV went 90.
Johnny, what'd you order? What'd you order at Wendy's? What'd you get at Wendy's?
Man, don't make me hungry.
I know. He's talking about Wendy's, man. I was like,
I'm already hungry.
Asiago bacon chicken ranch or whatever it is.
I don't even want to know what he got.
Give me some of that spicy shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Johnny goes, Frosty for the wife.
But you know what? I will say this about Pulisic.
What's the number 6, Johnny? What's the number 6? Sorry. I didn't mean to keep cutting you off.
It's a 6-incher. Luau was shit too. That just wasn't working. Whatever was going out there, it looked like everybody was on heroin. They'd all taken fentanyl or something. It looked like they were half asleep out there. So I didn't even recognize that AC Milan team. I didn't recognize them.
They have those moments, every now and then, you watch it, hey, well, this is how they're supposed to play, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happened to that team? Where'd that team
I was
go?
so excited because I got off work early and I got home and there was still 70 minutes to go in the game, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. And then when Pulisic went out, I'm like, fuck this, and I just turned the channel. I said, fuck this game.
That's how I usually feel about most U.S. teams, quite frankly. Watching Norwich, and all of a sudden Sargent goes out. I'm like, man, I'm done.
Yep. I'm like, off, next game.
Yep.
And then I watched the trusty CCV Celtic Bayern battle.
Yeah.
CCV pretty solid.
Yeah.
Trusty, weird. He'd have these good moments, and then he just seemed kind of out of place, and I don't know, but you're playing Bayern, so I get it.
So I think it was Trusty, because somebody mentioned this, and I think Alec on Twitter chimed in with a quote tweet that he tweets whenever somebody posts this, this hockey assist, if you will, play. So I think it was Trusty who may have went up for a commanding header that played it out to a guy, and he played it across and he scored a goal.
Yep.
And so somebody was really happy, if Trusty didn't do that, they wouldn't have had this goal. It was, he went on that whole rant about that, but
that's fine. That was a good moment for Trusty.
Exactly.
But he had other awkward moments.
Yeah.
So,
but that would be my point in that sense, that because again, people are laughing at when bring up like the hockey assist, and I would never call it something a hockey assist. I'm like, he was important on the build up to that play, to that goal. And
sure, but
like,
hockey,
that's when you talk.
Kind of like an easy way to sum it up.
Yeah, but I mean, he was like, he would be laughing at like, we're actually celebrating a build up towards a goal, not even an assist or a goal or anything like that. I'm like, well,
it was an important build up.
Exactly. What if it's a very important play that happens to spring somebody who gets the assist?
Yep.
But if you did this amazing play in the middle of the field, then yeah, you're absolutely going to talk about that shit.
Right. Gooch still injured again. He was healthy for like 2 games. He's back to being injured for Stoke. Morris
he's
had.
going to be getting close to retirement age, right?
He's not. He's only like 26.
I mean, he's injured like for 10 years straight. So.
Yeah, it's been bad. Morris back from injury for another game. This is he's been playing for multiple games now for Middlesbrough. This was not one of his better ones. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but he needs to pull that shit together because they now stand 9th out of 24 games.
So I kind of went against my personal opinion of Morris. People were hyping him up at Columbus, and then he came to the U.S. national team, and he was very underperforming. And I'm sitting there going, I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. And then he goes to Burrow, and
then you see it.
He's got some standouts, and you're like, okay, maybe I was wrong. And then maybe those standouts were just standout performances in that sense, and maybe overstayed his welcome, if you will.
But let's keep in mind, it's only his second game back from injury.
That's true. That's also true. Let's
not
look too much into this.
Right. Speaking of which, Cole Campbell wasn't in the roster for Dortmund, even for that game, because he was playing for the U19s. They sent him all the way back to the U19s, where he played 90 minutes.
Not even the twos, man. Not even the two. Back to the 19s? Come on.
All the way back to the U19s, baby, where he played 90 minutes against Real Madrid's U19s in a loss.
Hey, we just had a whole argument about whether or not Cole Campbell or Damian Downs would be the who are we gonna bring up in the next match?
How is that even a fucking discussion? It's Damian Downs.
He's actually playing. He's actually playing. I agree.
And Damian Downs is a center forward. He's not a winger. They're not even comparable.
It's not comparable. I agree. Yes.
Matthias Albert got 34 minutes in that game, by the way.
Same team too. Well. Yeah, look at that.
But they still lost to Madrid.
The kid's 3 years younger, and he's still playing for that team.
I know. He's a child. All right. Coaching with 90 minutes for the U19s at Barcelona for a win. Did give up a goal, but no biggie.
He saved the PK, so he made up for whatever he let in.
Right. I wish I got to watch that. I could not find it. I tried.
How often do you get to watch like U19s and shit like that?
Yeah, it's hard to find.
That's gonna be tough. You got to pay like for some special service, some special. Hey, watch kids on this streaming service.
Are you a pedophile? Watch young boys.
Watch young boys. Exactly. Like I didn't get to watch the U19 Barcelona team play.
I guess technically they're U19, so it's not pedophile. All right.
I mean, they're not saying U19 doesn't mean that they're 19.
That's true, because he's like what, 18, right?
Yeah, he's 18.
That's still legal. All right, so still don't break out the loop. I mean, I love coaching. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. Also Thursday then. Jonathan Gomez hasn't been playing for PAOK in Greece because
why is that?
He's injured.
No, I think it's because Greece is where U.S. players go and die.
They die
figuratively, not literally.
They die in several ways, Brett. In this case, he's injured.
Yeah.
All right. Taylor Booth was in the 18 for 20s game today. Didn't play. All right, didn't play. EPB, as we said earlier, Eric Palmer Brown played a whole 37 minutes until his fucking left testicle gave out. And so now he's injured again. Cardoso went 20 minutes for Batiste in a win. Miljevic went 72 minutes for Huracan in the Argentinian League versus his old team, Argentinos Juniors.
Oh,
and
so he found a club?
Yeah.
Good.
He's back in Argentina, and he started. He went 72 minutes at the CAM spot.
Do you think his Camp Cupcake performance had anything to do with that?
No, I think he's good enough for that league. And you don't necessarily need to be like a barn burner, like super quick guy. You just need to be competently skilled, which is what he is.
I mean, he was good enough for his old club. Of course, he's going to be good enough for another club.
He's a ballsy player and a confident guy who's like technically not horrible. So yeah, he's going to start, and he has started. I think this is his second or third game starting for Hurricane. So yeah. I mean, he's got there and immediately went into the starting spot. And then we had, as we mentioned earlier, the US U17s killing St. Kitts 7-0. And this is the point in the show, Brett, where I'm going to go pee, and I will be right back. And you can transition.
Are you done yanking it?
Yeah, no, I'm totally done yanking it.
Totes done with the yankage.
I got sperm all over the screen. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, I don't want to bring up the next topic because that's going to bring into one of our other main topics here. This could have been considered a dual nap panic, but you know what? By the time we bring it up and start talking about it, I feel like Derek will be back from his urination. So there's a lot of rumors swirling around that Henri Chase is making the switch from Japan to United States. Well, the funny thing is, if you read into this whole thread, it's a big nothing burger. Apparently, Pochettino and his U.S. men's national team staff are pushing for the 20-year-old Stuttgart defender to join the U.S. and Chase is open to a switch. More to come in the following weeks. We'll have to make sure we tell Derek to close the door because we can. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but I can certainly hear him right now. Well, I mean, what is this? What does this tweet actually tell us? Outside of breaking news, guys, it's hey, Pochettino and U.S. men's national team staff are pushing. They're pushing. This is the equivalent of keeping tabs or keeping eyes on a player.
All right.
So Derek, Pochettino and the U.S. men's national team staff are pushing for 20-year-old Stuttgart defender. They're pushing. They're pushing. And hey, Chase is open to a switch.
Listen, I don't know what to trust. Like who's the guy who posted is like this Marcage news guy. He's here for the hits. Let's be real honest. I would hope this would be true. We'll see.
So Edgar says that it's this dude. It's Tejano Deportes.
Is this the guy that he doesn't like?
Yeah.
Oh well, then fuck this report altogether.
Well, yeah, it's Edgar doesn't trust it as far.
I don't either. I don't trust these guys. I don't because they get it wrong constantly. I'm sorry.
They don't show it here. Let's see if this one shows. Nope, that was a horrible one. Let's just see, guys.
And why call him now? Why call Chase now when he's been riding Pine, sent down to Stuttgart 2? Why call him now? Why now? I mean,
he's down on his luck, and U.S. Soccer says, "Hey, bro, we're interested in you." And he's like, "Well, somebody likes me." That'd be the reason, right?
I mean, I'd still call
him. Opposite of negging at this point. You'd be like hitting them while they're, just like propping them up when they're down, if you will.
Listen, I'd still call them and say, hey, get back to form, and we're interested. But you know what? I'm taking what's his face instead?
Mr. Brown?
Noah Kai Banks. I'm calling Noah Kai Banks up. He's playing. He's playing right now. And since right at the beginning of the year, in like December, we started to see a fall off for Chase. Like he had a bad game and then a bad game in January, and boom, he's been out. Like out. He's got 19, 20 minutes this season.
Jorge says 19 minutes in 2025.
Bam! Jorge. Thank you. Right on, brother. Like, there's an issue going on here. Something's not right with Chase at Stuttgart, and I'd like him to fix that first. Like, I'm going to still tell them I'm interested, but I'm, with all the injuries, especially McKenzie, I'm calling up Noah Kai Banks for this next.
Somebody who our federation already has connections with, anyways.
Mm-hmm. That's who I want to see. I want to see this kid not necessarily start, but maybe get some minutes.
Well, here's what I'm hoping, and I think everybody's hoping for this. I'm hoping that Poch is saying, hey, Nene Brown, we'd love for you to come out to a camp one of these days. Hey, Henri, we'd love for you to come out to a camp one of these days. No, Kyle, you did great things with youth teams, doing great things with Augsburg. We'd love to have you out at camp one of these days. And then just let the players decide at that point. But express your interest. Express that, hey, you're an American, and if you want to represent America, we're here for you.
By the way, William Lee says Banks deserves more than Chase ass to mouth. Sorry,
not sure why ass to mouth came into the equation here, but yeah, no, hear you.
No, it's a porn term.
I know. Oh, I know what you're talking
about. I know. You should know.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Banks deserves more ass to mouth. Is what I'm saying.
I do. He's been playing. He's been actually playing, whereas Andre Chase is not playing. So you obviously get more ass to mouth if you're playing. You should get more ass to mouth.
Yeah.
By the way, I know ATM. I know what it means. You don't have to tell me. I know what it really means. I'm just saying in the porn industry, ATM means ass to mouth. I'm just telling you that's what it means. Like if you go in and you're one of the models.
Oh, there it is right there.
And they're like, yeah, we'd like you to do a little DP, a little ATM, and maybe some DPA at the end.
We want you to do some designated player. We want you to do
I have often thought about writing a book about the porn industry. Like I've really seriously considered it because I think it's such a seedy, like dark place. It's a really like the number of women who have committed suicide and shot themselves in the head. I mean, it's creepy. It's not good. There's not good shit going.
Here's what you do. You make the book, throw it up on Amazon, of course. And you put an audio book on there with a sexy female voice reading it.
And then somebody asked, Derek, how do you know the inner workings of the porn industry? I had a roommate who was in it. So there you go. And I kept in touch with her a long time. And I'm not going to say her name.
You said everybody else's name. Why stop there?
She was a stripper in college.
Wait, was that Link chick that you were talking about earlier?
No.
Oh.
No. But no, she's my age, chick I'm talking about. So she's 50-something at this point. And so she was a stripper.
Debbie?
No.
You know Debbie?
No, I do not know Debbie Dallas. No. She was a stripper in college, and then she went on to do porn.
Oh, so she at the what the fuck's that strip club called on college? Or Walnut or whatever it is.
Yes.
She was there?
Yes, she did that. I was her bodyguard for a while too. Me and another roommate.
At the end of her show, you went up there and grabbed her and carried her off, G-string and all?
Well, when I say bodyguard, I mean like we made sure people didn't touch her. And we got paid for that. And also she used to do fraternity shows. So Scott and I, won't use Scott's last name, would go to the fraternity shows as her bodyguard.
You know to make Scott sure Lane?
Scott, whose name I won't name, would go to these shows at the fraternities and make sure nobody got too touchy-feely with her. Yeah. All right. So that's how I know a lot about this.
You and Scott were outnumbered too, man.
Scott was he's a great guy. And we never really had any trouble with the frat guys. I mean, some of them got a little out of hand. They got a little drunk, a little handsy. And we're like, hey,
You're sitting there like, you get handsy, we get handsy.
Yeah, both of us at the time, Scott and I, were pretty big buff dudes too. So you didn't want to mess with us. So I'm not buff anymore. Although
I've seen photos of you around that time period.
In college?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some indie music
No, I already stopped lifting weights by then.
Oh.
I stopped doing that. Yeah, I mean,
who wants all the buff muscles and on the look of an indie career? I guess that's counterproductive, actually.
In college,
all the indie bands and stuff like that, they're all like usually scrawny or.
I lifted some weights in college, not a whole lot, but I already came in pretty healthy.
Nobody wants to hear about your jerking career there.
My jerking career. I didn't have much jerking involved in that one. Although we used to sell.
I was making the joke that you said you're lifting heavy weights.
I mean, the great thing is Scott would go to the frat parties and we would put together like a, with the old VHS tapes, like the best of porn for 2000. I mean, except for whatever.
Girls Gone Wild. I hear you, man.
It's like 96, 97. We would sell these VHS tapes to these guys for $20 a pop, man. And we'd leave with like $1,000. It's crazy. Like those guys were just fiends for that shit. Anyhow,
back in my college day, you were just downloading porn off LimeWire.
Oh, all we were doing was taking the porn that we had on tapes and we're using another VHS recorder to make a best of video, and then we would copy it over and over and over again. And
so you're there for legal purposes. You were lending out your copies to friends, correct?
Yeah, we were selling shit illegally.
Derek, you were lending out copies to friends, right?
We were selling shit.
You were lending them out.
Dude, it's way beyond. I'm not worried about being
statute of limitations for reselling porn that's not yours.
It's way over, dude. It's 30 years over. All right, we're fine.
Oh, yeah, it's like we get the confession on the Thursday night show. You know the feds listen to us too, right?
Right. I mean, Scott and I would decide what the best of was, and then we would put it on the tape, and then we had 2 VHS, and we would just run them all day, copying like an hour's worth of porn over and over again onto new tapes. All right, but that was
I know that. Call the FBI.
Oh, man, it's like in 1993. They can't bust us for that at this point.
I think all the porn channels, I'm saying channels as far as avenues selling porn, it can show that there was significant drop in sales during that time period. You were lending out your copies of porn.
There's no evidence left. I know that. Good luck finding that shit. I mean,
you need evidence when you admit it, Derek. I mean, that's who needs evidence? Like, yeah, I killed the guy. Oh, good luck finding evidence. No, you just said you killed him, so.
I could be making up this whole story. Wink, wink. All right. Anyhow, I'm just making it up for entertainment purposes. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. I'm making up this shit for entertainment purposes. All right. Next, what do we got?
Let's see what we got next. Haji Wright's back on the training pitch.
Good.
Look at him training so hard.
Good.
He didn't train at the barber. Apparently, he hasn't cut his hair in a while.
Hope he plays soon.
Although to the point you make every show, it'll be easy to see him on the pitch with that fro.
Yes, I like it.
So keep it up.
Bigger fro, the better. Richards, keep it up. I can always tell where you are. Although Richards plays right center back, it's really easy anyhow.
Yeah.
Harder for Pulisic versus Rangers, and I still know the gate that Pulisic runs in, so that makes it easier as well. I'm trying to think of the players that confuse me.
Everybody's like, he has braids, Brett. Haji typically braids his hair. Haji wears cornrows when he plays. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree. And quite frankly, whenever Pulisic's not out on the left, it's pretty obvious where Haji is.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm just saying, to Derek's point, when you have that ant view and you're really far back,
way back,
all the field, it's nice and easy to say, "Whoa, there he is! He's got that giant hair right there. That's him."
Yeah.
Right there. Or hey, he's bleach blonde his hair. That's him right there. I know who he is.
That's why my mom, when Sardis used to play, she never could remember his name. She would just call him Skunk Boy.
Yeah.
Skunk Boy.
Yeah.
Skunk Boy scored. Because she knew his hairdo. I said,
like Roth in Ted Lasso. He's like, I scored with my face. I would say
Mom, that's Zardis. She's like, I never remember that. I said, it's Zardis. That's Skunk Boy. It's fine.
Skunk Boy.
She used to call Brad Guzan Mini-Me.
Mini-Me, yep. Yep.
It's like, Mini-Me was really good in goal tonight. Mini-Me. No, he's not mini. I can tell you that. He's 6'3".
He's a big me. He's a
very large Mini-Me. All right. What else we got? Tim Weah feels confidence and an integral part of Juventus. He should. He played really well. He's slowly acquiring more and more of the Juve mentality. What? Okay, we love you, Otaku, but come on. He's slowly acquiring more and more of the Juve mentality?
He's taking this from Morek 92. So
I guess. All right.
I don't know if Otaku has a personal opinion on anything. He's just typically regurgitating what people are already saying.
I don't know about acquiring more and more of the Juve mentality. Maybe they're acquiring more of his. Honestly, he works hard. He's a real fucking balls out player. RB Leipzig made an attempt to sign Weah this winter, but he himself did not even want to listen to the offer. I guess. I mean, who knows? Turin is his home. Okay, this is getting too warm and fuzzy for me. And his goal is to want to continue doing well there. Thiago Motta appreciates him a lot and considers him very intelligent and loves the shape of his ass. All right. All great. All good.
Yeah. I mean, the didn't even want to entertain or didn't listen to the offer. I would wager that's a lie. I wager you might listen to it.
Come on. Yeah.
I understand you're playing for Juve. Historically speaking, one of the top, Serie A teams. Obviously hasn't been for the last decade, but still.
There's some serious embellishment in this paragraph.
It's definitely some fluffing in there,
There's a lot of
fluffing.
A lot of ball coddling going on here in this paragraph. And that's the one criticism I have of some of the posts.
Sure.
I do no ball coddling. None on X. Absolutely zero. I keep the straight up facts. I don't bullshit. And I just wish more guys would get down to that. But, you get more clicks with some ball coddling. Ball coddling is popular.
Or a number of sirens in your post. You got to put more sirens in there.
Yeah.
Bimmy says, Way is having a career year. Don't leave Juventus. I agree. He's finally cracking a team and he's getting more and more minutes as the season progresses. Why would he possibly ever consider going to a brand new team?
Yeah. Right now, no. He's working himself into it as a starter right back. Right wing back.
He's in a good position. Yeah.
Right back, yeah. Yeah, don't fuck with that. You just stay there.
Talking about his teammate, though.
Juventus coach Thiago Motta had nothing but the highest praise for Weston McKenzie following the performance in their 2-1 Champions League win against PSV. Weston is special. Sorry. He is a great player, a great guy. He eats too much, but he has played at fullback, holding midfielder, attacking midfielder, winger. He's top-level player. His balls are smooth. When I say that a top-level player can play everywhere, it's because I know what I'm talking about. I've been playing in football for many years. I've coddled many balls. When you ask where players should play, it's not something that concerns me. Weston plays everywhere. Then he has to be on the field. It's hard for me to leave him out. Maybe not as a goalkeeper, but in every other position. It's difficult to put him on the bench. That's what being a top-level player with giant balls means.
I love that. I love that. He's like, oh, he needs to be on the bench. Maybe not a goalkeeper.
Right.
But anywhere else.
I like this coach. Sign me up for him. I love him already. Well, I already loved him. But.
Yeah, he just needs to get Juve firing on all cylinders at this point.
That wasn't meant to be an Italian accent. That is my dog accent.
Standard. That was even less dog. That's like a generic dog.
Yeah, I mean,
you weren't really hitting the moments that you normally say.
It's an Adam Sandler thing.
It was.
Yeah.
There you go. It was more Hotel Transylvania than it was the Goat.
It's somewhere between the Goat and Hotel Transylvania. But the talking goat I can definitely do.
You've done it for years, of course.
I did it for years. I've been on other people's shows as a goat or as a dog that sounds like a goat.
If Mar brings up your competitor.
Yeah, I'm not
Triumph,
quite
the
there.
talking dog for me to poop on.
I don't do the dog. I do the goat. I can't do the dog that well.
It's not much of a difference, quite frankly. I'm not sure who stole what. I think Adam probably had his goat before Triumph came out.
He did.
But I'm just saying there's such a consistency between those two that if you were to do your version of the goat, everybody would probably just assume you're doing Triumph the dog.
You're probably right.
Who remembers Adam Sandler's The Talking Goat?
Probably not many. A lot of people. Yeah, for me,
I had
classic.
the CD. I had the CD with The Talking Goat.
You fucking hit me in the eye with that, you fucking Roger Staubach bitch. God damn it. Yeah, I can do that one. I don't know about Triumph though. I mean, I've never tried to do Triumph, but it's similar.
It's almost identical. So
I don't know if it's similar. I mean, it's not identical. It's similar. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I don't want to pull up Triumph.
You button hooked me, bitch. Johnny has the button hook. He's right, man. All right.
Derek, I've got bad news for you. First off, talk about how many people are in chat.
Oh shit! There are 267 bastards in the chat, including 3 women.
Really? 3?
There are 3 women in the chat based on our percentages.
0.3 maybe.
But 2 of them have penises.
There you go. I'll accept it then.
All right. I'm sorry.
All right. Bad news, Derek. Pochettino is apparently open to a move back to Tottenham. If
fuck this report. Fuck this. This is dumb. This is stupid. He's not leaving.
No. Oh.
He's not leaving. It's ridiculous.
Of course he's not leaving. Maybe after 2026 he might be leaving. But He's not leaving before 2026. Come the fuck on Tottenham transfer news. Suck a donkey dick.
Again, this is another click transfer news.
Poch might come back if we offer him a deal.
In 2029. Yeah, whatever. Okay. He's here until the World Cup. Okay. Yeah. End of that. Fuck this. Get this off the screen.
Goodbye. All right, it's going to take us to our last topic here.
Amen.
Really. Amen. That's the topic. It's amen. No, we're going to go and talk about our roster.
Okay.
Less to do with our overall 23, I guess. We can talk about our 23, I guess, but let's at least start off with our starting 11.
Yep.
Go the fuck away, you twat. In a 3-4-2-1, because until Poch plays something different with our big boys, I'm assuming it's going to continue to be a 3-4-2-1.
I do agree. Pete won't agree. That's okay. I will have that talk with Pete at some point.
Why? What's changing between the last window and this window?
No, Pete thinks this is a 4-3-2-1.
Oh,
4-2-3-1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he thinks Jedi is actually a left back in this situation, right?
He thinks that he thinks that Scally's a right back in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Jedi is a left back, that means Scally would be a right back.
I mean, he's just wrong. Okay, he's just wrong, and we disagree with this, and we'll have him on the show. We'll have him on the show, and we'll have a debate about it at some point.
Motherfucking.
Then don't get me wrong. I love Pete.
How's Pete gonna react to your form of debate? Where Pete's like, "Nah, I think Jedi's gonna be a left back and Scully's gonna be a right back," and Derek comes and goes, "Wrong. No,
we'll work it out. It's Pete, dude. Like Pete and I. We text pretty regularly. I think we're pretty close. I'm not saying we're best friends or anything, but I'd be there for him if he had a bad day. Let me just put it that way. He's a good guy. I know a lot of people can't stand Pete, as I think Henry says, and I know he comes off kind of rough around the edges sometimes, and I get that. I get it on X, especially.
My advice for everybody is grow thicker skin.
I think if you knew Pete as a person, he's a good guy. He's kind of a good guy. He's a really good dude. Yeah, is he a hate merchant?
He told me to suck it.
Isaac, he's a hate merchant. What has he said hatefully? Okay, yeah, okay. Listen, Pete doesn't like some of our friends. I get it. He doesn't like people that we like, or like we don't like some of these people's opinions, so we disagree with them, and they come on our show like Lawless, and we argue with them. I get it, and he's really like, and we say they're compromised, and he says they're shills. I get it. It's a different of language, parts of language, but I do think language matters. And okay, just to put that out there. But we still love Pete.
Goes, I just find him annoying, LO, nothing to do with my skin.
Yeah, I mean, Pete's a good guy. He really is. If you knew him better, you'd know he's a really good dude. So I can't say a bad thing about him since I've known him, which is now going on what, 3 years, 4 years? I've known Pete pretty well. All right. Anyhow, and that goes from Tack.
I'll say he is too slow to realize fake names. That's my complaint about him. But then again, that's also the nicest thing I like about him.
Ice, swallow. Come. That was a classic, and I wish we still had that on video somewhere. All right, so
we can go back and find it if we want. If we really want to, I'm not digging through all those live streams. By all means, guys, if you want to go back through all of our live streams and find the Ice Wallow
come,
by all means, please tag us in it.
Please find it. Yes. By the way, for the 263 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. We do appreciate you all coming out. Or I don't know if we're going to crack 300 again like we did on Monday, but because Thursdays aren't quite the same. But hey, we do appreciate all being here and commenting in the section. It's been a lot of fun. That's all we do when we come here is to have fun. If this wasn't fun, I'd be like, fuck Brett. Let's just quit doing this shit because it's no fun.
Derek, I'm not going to fuck you. Calm down.
Yeah, you would.
You're like, man, if this was the fun, I'd be like, fuck Brett.
If we were bad, if we were in
this shit.
If we were abandoned on an island for 3 years, you'd contemplate it. If I took like some grass and made it look like I had long hair.
Derek, after 3 years, you would have long hair.
That's true. Yes, that's really a good point.
No, Derek, in the right light.
You'd be like, could you shave your beard, though?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really. This isn't working unless you shave your beard.
I agree with Chambers. This got weird again.
All right. So let's move to from anal sex to the top of the lineup here. It's Turner and Cole.
Damn, we lost 20 people.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah. No, not really.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
What is wrong with us? All right. Me, mostly. All right.
All right.
Turner.
As we enter the March window here.
It's Turner. Cole.
Oh, 100% going to agree with you on that. It's going to be Turner.
Oh, God.
Not because Turner's phenomenal or anything like that. He has had a couple of games though for Crystal. So
yeah,
there's that.
Yes,
there's that.
Awesome.
You know,
it's awesome.
Weed and alcohol, easiest answer ever, Derek.
I'm trying to pull it together. I really am. All right. Oof. Okay. All right.
Oh.
It's Scally.
I think Scally's easy. That's one I picked. I was like, okay, I know for a fact that's gonna be Scally.
Oh, this is so.
But you know, we're missing McKenzie, maybe depending. I mean, we got like a month and some change.
Yeah, that's tough. Now, like, if McKenzie's gone, now who the fucking plays in the middle of the park? Reed?
Will McKenzie be back though?
No, I don't think so. By March, I don't know. I don't think so. Let's just pretend he can't because I'm not sure how bad the injury is.
One would imagine Richards will be in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But does he play the center of the park? I think you would say yes and put Ream out left. I mean, that would be more sensible. You can't play Ream in the middle because you can't play Richards out left. That would be awkward, I think.
Well, I mean, Richards has played out left. And remember, in the defense, Jedi's going to be back there.
Yeah, true. And then, but who works better with Ream than Jedi, right? On that left side.
Exactly, right? That'd be the combination you want to have.
So we're basically putting it down that McKenzie could be injured for March. We're hoping not.
Following Phoenix and saying, do it, start Banks.
Listen, we want Banks to make this team, period. So that's Jedi, obviously.
Yeah. Of course.
Yep. And now, based on what Poch is doing, that's Musa.
I'm gonna throw McKinney in here just because I know McKinney's gonna be there. So do you think outright
is Musa? Adams is playing next to McKinney.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think about Musa in that sense. He's starting for AC Milan and doing well enough. Yeah, I imagine he's probably gonna start there in Adams.
Green Great Basin says McKenzie will be back, guys. Don't trip. Man, I hope you're right. Like, I'm getting a little jaded about our injuries at this point because they're so numerous.
So in that situation, let's say McKenzie's back. I'm assuming at that point Ream is being dropped.
Yes. I would too.
Do you think McKenzie's going to play left center back?
Yes. Because that's where he plays for Toulouse. Yeah.
Obvious one. Pulisic.
Yep.
Pulley. Sick.
Where?
You got to go way at this point, yeah. And I know we're going to get the argument of Gio. Where's Gio? Where's Gio? But
not in Poch's current setup.
See, now here's the thing. Here's an interesting concept. And I'm not going to make the change because I don't think it's going to happen here, but because I don't think Musa is going to get removed. But Weah could, in fact, move over to the Musa role.
Mm-hmm.
That opens up a spot for then Arena.
I don't think Reyna's earned it.
No, that's the problem. I think Reyna will get a call up.
Yeah,
but I do not believe he'll get a start.
I don't think so. Not right away. Unless he sees something in training that blows his dick off.
Yeah. There you go. That's a right example. Going based off of club performances, I could not see Reyna starting.
Nope.
I know he'll get if he gets called in, which he should get called in since it's healthy. I know he'll get minutes. How many minutes is the big question at that point.
Right.
But yeah, I think the only argument here this lineup really is going to be McKenzie if he's healthy.
If he's healthy, then Ream is out. McKenzie will start on the left instead.
Green Gray Basin says, no Johnny Soccer. Who's he taking? Whose spot? Whose spot
he taking?
Whose spot is Cardoso taking?
He's not taking a starting spot. He's going to make the squad, though.
Johnny says Tannerman starting.
Tannerman is not starting. He may not even make the team.
Johnny's having a laugh.
Oh, yeah, he is because he doesn't like Tannerman. But, yeah, if he makes the team at this point, it would be a little surprising.
Yep.
His current play at Lyon has not been good.
Fallen Phoenix is hoping that Musa's benched.
Why? Musa's been one of the best players right now in the last 4 or 5 games for AC Milan. I'm not benching him right now, not in the way he's playing right now.
Bimar, you don't speak that evil. Don't speak that evil in this house.
Who are you starting center for when Sargent gets hurt March 15th? It could happen. And then I'm starting Dominic Downs. That's
Dominic, huh?
Oh, Damien. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I would love to see Damien given an opportunity, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Vasquez gets a start, or even Aguiman, quite frankly.
Can I just call Damien and ask him to change his first name to Dominic?
Damien, if you wouldn't mind, and if it's no inconvenience to you, I would appreciate it if you change your name to Dominic. That way, my life's easier.
Because I keep calling you that, and I think we're like willing it into existence at this point.
Yeah. At some point, Damien's going to do an interview, and he's like, guys, my name is Dominic, I think. Heard it so many times. Man, I think it is a Dominic.
Hey, give me 3 seconds. I'm going to go retrieve a Canada Dry.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I got it, guys. Green Great Basin says, do you guys think Paxton's going to get a call up? I would hope so. Paxton's earned a call up, quite frankly.
All right, I'm back.
At the very minimum, I think Paxton can.
He'll get in there.
Yeah, I mean, we're look at the replacements for the Pulisic and Way at this point. That's Aronson and Reyna, more or less. Yeah,
and you got to keep in mind how much Poch has expressed his love of Aronson and Musa. So
at that point, I mean, he's looking at Dark Brendan and going, man, maybe I'll give your brother a call up too. Maybe we have 2 Aronsons on the pitch.
Yes, Fumar. Canada Dry 0. All right, let's build the backups.
Can I do that here? I don't even know if I can add backups.
Oh, we're not using the same platform.
Yeah, it's a different one. Hold on. I'll just pull it up here.
All right.
Russ.
For the 278 of you here, so we're getting close to 300 on a Thursday. That's kind of unusual. You know what was really sad? Watching the Bruce Arena interview with Jimmy and Davies today. They had 108 people watching. And I thought, wow, Bruce Arena. They didn't put Bruce Arena's name in the show promo. I think more people would have showed up to watch that if they would have known Bruce Arena was going to be on the show. Don't you think? I mean, I would have shown up. I just showed up because I watched the show.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
like
I think more than 100 and some change would show up. Yes.
Yeah. Anyhow.
All right. We have 11. We need another 12 names.
Yes. Oh, we're filling these all in again. Okay.
This is the reserves.
All right. Backup goalkeeper. Can we throw Coach in maybe? I think he's going to make it. Don't you?
I think it's going to be Schulte or Steffen.
Well, no, not as. I mean, generally, I think he might make the team, but Schulte will be the backup for sure.
I'm going to put Schulte in here first.
And
Steffen is going to be the third goalkeeper.
Right. It's Steffen. Yep. So backup, left back, left center back. Wow.
Let's just assume McKenzie's healthy.
Well, then he's starting.
Sure. We've already split that here.
All right. CCV. Do we really think we're taking any more than that center backs?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. 5 center backs, I think, is more than enough.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we're missing any center backs? I mean, do you think his mind was blown by Zimmerman or Long?
No.
Or Miles? I mean, I'm not
Miles. Yeah, no, I don't think so. No. All right. We're looking for left wing / left backs. That's got to be Nathaniel Brown.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It cannot be anybody else right now. It's not Lund.
Well, and the rumors are all Nene Brown, right?
Yes. Tolkien's just getting started. And he's doing great. And I like that. And I wish him the best. But Brown's a fucking amazing player at Frankfurt. He's top notch. He's verging on the German national team. Verging on it. Let's get him before he verges too far. All right.
Okay. BMR says, I thought you were going off the premise that McKenzie was hurt. I put McKenzie in parentheses. Let's assume we got to pick up another center back as an option.
I mean, personally, I go with Trusty. But you know what? People are going to disagree with that. Somebody will probably say
Henry Chase. We've talked about him.
No Kai Banks. No Kai Banks, Brett. He plays left back. For you be putting him over where McKenzie is.
Doesn't matter.
You're right. It doesn't really matter, but yes.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
No Kai Banks. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that based on who Noah Kai Banks is and how confident he has looked coming into the Bundesliga. Like, it ain't no big deal. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I mean, really impressed. Dark Brendan, yes. Reyna, yes. Backup midfielders, we got Johnny Soccer.
Yeah, Cardoso.
And got to get rid of.
Yeah, Busio. You got Tessman.
Yeah, I right now Busio looking better than Tessman, but
am I missing any other center midfielders here?
Maloney not playing.
Johnny saying Sands.
Sands looking really good at St. Pauli. You got what's his face at Middlesbrough, Morris.
Maloney's not playing for Mainz, so we can't include him.
Yeah, Maloney's not playing for Mainz.
Oh, Bimmy says Paxton.
You know, I'd throw Paxton Aronson in there if I could. God, I've been.
Pax.
What a season at Utrecht so far. What a season. Like, give the boy props. He's probably not going to play a game in this group of games, but bring him. Bring him anyhow. Because you can't bring Maloney. He's not playing. You can't bring Tessman. He's been farting all over Lyon. Busio, fine, but it's the worst team in Serie A.
I think a backup to Musa.
At right wing back?
Do you think somebody like Ledesma might get a shot?
I don't think so.
I'm just trying to think who would play as the wing back option.
I mean, it's possible. The crazy thing is, here's the crazy thing. At Club America, Zendejas has been like lighting shit up.
There you go. Nope, I'm gonna. I know Zendejas is not a wing back by any means, but he played that role when he came in against Mexico.
Yeah,
I think Zendejas' form alone is probably going to warrant him a call.
Maybe. That's a big maybe. That's a hard call. And we don't know if Haji is going to be healthy by then. But if he is, he's going to be.
That's also a great point too. He is. Well, he's not. I mean, he's not going to be competing for that wingback role.
They might try different formations, though.
That's true. I mean, that's the thing that we tried the 4 different formations in Camp Cupcake.
So I'd say maybe Haji there. Haji over Zendejas.
Let me think. Hold on, real quick. We need 12 more numbers here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. So yeah, I mean, we can either drop Zendejas, we could drop Busio, Pax.
You got to drop. I think right now you drop Busio. I mean, it's
guys playing. I mean,
he's okay, but they're losers. And
it's fair, but he is playing well in Serie A. I mean, I understand Pax is playing very well in Eredivisie.
If he was not just playing very well, he's the best player on Utrecht. He's not only just playing well, he's the key. Like, without him on the team, Utrecht's not battling for a fucking Champions League position right now in Holland. Now, last 2 games, not so good. But, like, season-wise, overall season-wise, Paxton Aronson been the fucking goddamn bull in that China shop there. So, I don't know. Bucio's been fine, but he's been mostly playing as a left winger or a left wing midfielder. And we're not looking for him to do that.
I guess what all I can go off of really at this point is kind of their current form. Haji's just getting back to training. Who knows if he's going to get back to his form in time for March?
True.
I don't know if I can list him in this current prediction lineup, because that's expecting a lot. That's expecting.
It's February 13th, and we're looking at the March camp starting.
First March game is March 20th.
Yeah, so more than a month from now, but still,
around
we'll say a month.
March 3rd. So literally about a month from now is when the camp will be announced. I mean, that's 4 games. Haji could be back to playing.
He could.
Or he might not be. Or maybe he gets like 7 minutes.
I mean, he's just been so goddamn good for Coventry when he's healthy. And I think, Poch already knows who he is, right? It's already called him in.
Yeah.
I got to go with Haji. I think he's going to get healthy and get back in a month from now. I really do.
Well, guys, my real only argument here is that Haji's going to be playing. He won't be. I mean, obviously, we talk about playing a different formation and stuff like that with Haji in there because he is. We've always changed our formation when Haji gets into the lineup because he always goes in as more or less a second striker, and he doesn't check back on the defense. So the lineup kind of changes up slightly. But the big question again is you're going to be removing a potential player who plays a specific role. That since Zendejas plays out wide,
I don't think we need it because Dark Brendan can play out there too.
He could play. He could cover in the middle too. Yeah, it's always possible.
Green Great Basin says Luca De La Torre ? Is he off the radar? Yeah,
100%. I mean, he's on loan to San Diego at this point, and he hasn't played in like half a season.
Right, and
barring a couple minutes.
Celta Vigo made it very, very clear they wanted him off their roster. The new coach did. They said, "Nah, we don't want him." So he's kind of gone at this point. He's going to have to do something amazing in MLS and have fucking sparkles shoot out of his ass to get back on this team. Honestly, that's what it's going to take. And then up front is the only thing we got left. Although I do think you need. Well, what are you doing here, Haji? Up top, I'm going with Dominic Downs over all the MLS options, even Vasquez, because I do think that if Sargent gets injured, Weah's your up top guy, your second guy. So you don't need. I'd rather see us experiment with a guy that's been totally fucking shoving large cocks up small holes in fucking 2 Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see. I want to see Damian Downs. I want to see him at least get acclimated with the team.
Larry P-Fox injured.
Yeah, P-Fox injured. He's out for probably 4 to 5 months, I hear. So he'll be out for a while. So we'll see.
So I put in parentheses because these are the 2 people that we're talking about swapping out here. I'm thinking Bucio will get called in before Haji does. And I put you as D for Haji. Because I can't say that Haji's going to get the call in until he plays.
If we did this on our regular platform that you build, this would make a whole lot more sense to my brain. But right now, my brain's a little confused about like wingers versus midfielders, just how this is going and balance in lineup. And so I don't think Zendejas is making this lineup. I really don't. I'd be shocked if he did. And I, wouldn't be surprised if both Paxton and Bucio make it. So we'll see how this all works out. But at least we put something out here, and people can look at it. This is, by the way, our backup lineup. If you just arrived, this is the backups. This is not the starting 11. We already named the starting 11. This is the starting 11.
I mean, again, center back's going to be the only thing in question on whether or not McKenzie's healthy. And if McKenzie's healthy, he's starting over Ream, and then Ream's going to go into the backup.
Yep.
And so forth. Bye-bye, CCV. Hello, Ream.
We're not really sure the injury right now status on McKenzie. If it is nothing that bad, it's just sort of a knock or something, then Ream's out and McKenzie starting. Because frankly, I'm sorry, McKenzie is having a stellar season at Toulouse. Like, way better than he played for Genk. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is a player that now goes forward, makes through ball passes. Like, this is a really, we even saw it with US men's national team.
It's a it's a different coach, different system, and maybe the system and coach require him to do more of those things. Whereas the Genk coach probably said, maybe told him, hey, step back, don't do as much.
Right. I mean, Genk aren't traditionally a top 2 team in Belgium, right? So when you're playing the top teams like Anderlecht, again, this is generally not current. Like, I mean, the top teams we look back on Gooch's days, Standard Liège was like the best team in the league for a while. That tends to change a lot in Belgium between the top 4. But you'll have other teams just pop out of nowhere. So there we go. It's not a really it's not defensive. You watched away.
I mean, Musa for the most part is going to be sitting up here anyways.
Yes.
McKinney's going to be pushing more in the middle. Adams is going to be more or less adding as a stopper, if you will. Jedi's going to pinch over like this.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to look
and
more
when
like
the ball is on the
3-2-4-1.
And when the ball's on the left side, expect Jedi to go wide and help out Pulisic while Pulisic pinches in. Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing that we've seen from Poch so far. It's freedom!
And then occasionally we see Jedi all the way over here.
We've seen him that.
And then he's covering for Turner as goalkeeper.
It's freedom. This is the most freedom these players, they have said it in interviews, they've ever had for as long as they've been a part of the U.S. program.
So I guess, looking at this and then looking at our backups, I mean, you have Dark Brennan, who's more or less been, one of Leeds' biggest offensive, pushes.
I mean, he doesn't really finish enough, but yeah,
sure.
Okay.
You have Reyna offering creativity moving in for Pulisic, who's already our creative option. Weah's kind of our take people at pace, cut him in and shoot.
He'll start out wide and cut in.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
One shooter on the field.
Weah will start out wide and cut in, more than likely, but because
again, Moose is going to pinch up. McKinney's going to push up into the middle.
Adams will hang back and protect the back. Robinson will pinch in when the ball's on the right side. Next to Adams, when the ball's on the left, he will go wide and go left and support Pulisic, who will pinch in. So, yeah. And the other thing is it'll be a rotation. It'll be a rotation. It's what you saw with Poch, with U.S. men's national team, big boy team, not the January team. You saw a lot of rotation of positions, sort of the classical Dutch 1970s, all-out football sort of shit. That's what we're looking for here.
Tom brought up a good point. Last time, Weah played on the left.
He did.
And Pulisic more or less played as the
CAM.
10. Musa pushed up into the attack. And then again, in the defense, Musa came back as well.
Came all the way back and played in the back 5. Yep.
It was more like this, if you will, in that system. Even then, it was still kind of a Jedi pinched in.
But it was a rotation. That's my point. This is total football. This is Dutch. This is like the shit we talked about when my fucking dumbass soccer coach in high school, he read the book Total Football and was like, that's how we're going to play. Perfect. Okay, it worked for high school soccer. It can work now. Like we saw so much rotation, circulation, people moving back and playing positions. You were just like, what? Why are they there? Well, it didn't matter. They had somebody covering their ass because somebody else noticed you move forward, so you need to move backwards. I just hope we see more of that freedom, more of the artistry of the game, more of the creativity. That's what we're getting from Poch so far. I mean, we were just kind of cheesing over it. Like the whole way it looks so different from Berhalter. So different. And all the shit, this triangular pass, and then in this triangular movement, this needs to happen next. And then we kick it around the horn for half an hour and do nothing except cross a couple balls in. That's the Berhalter method. This is different. We saw plays come through the middle. Go ahead.
I'll tell you. I did like having Weah playing on the left rather than the right, simply because his tendency at that point is to cut in, and he, unlike most people on our team, will
rock it
25 yards out, give or take. He gets the opportunity, and that is more prevalent than him running down the sidelines and crossing it across the box. And his crosses are fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'd rather him be able to cut to his right and rip a shot.
I would not be surprised at all to see multiple left and right wing or left forward, right forward switches during a game.
And I will trust Pulisic's cut into his left and shoot with his left more so than Weah's shoot with his left.
That's for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I would prefer this kind of a tangent, but as we've said for the last couple minutes here, it's going to be moving around.
And do we have Dest back? Are we 100%? We haven't mentioned Dest because we're just not 100% sure he's ready for March.
He's back to training, but he's not back to being contender for playing time at PSV until he's on the 18. I can't say.
I just can't do it. Yeah. And if that's the case, then this is a whole new discussion, isn't it?
No, I'm just substituting Musa with Dest, quite frankly.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean,
sorry, Musa.
The reason you are going to do that is because of your personal preference. The other thing you have to take into account here is Poch. Poch loves Musa.
True. I'm just saying when Dest comes back, and if Dest turns out to be Dest of old still, then he's 100% gonna outshine Musa in that right hand role. Untouchable says someone in the chat said Dest is coming back this weekend. I believe he went down to Turin. He just wasn't part of the 18.
Right. So I think we just need to wait and see Dest coming back from what is people really take this into account. I know modern medicine is amazing. It's a serious fucking injury. That was a fucking serious goddamn injury. So let's see how he handles it and comes back from it.
Here we go. We got breaking news, Derek. Fabrizio Romano was just reported that Weston McKennie was caught at a buffet.
Good for him. Eat a little. Less Twinkies. Less ranch. Yeah.
Get some nice chicken, some prime rib, potato. You'll be fine. Yep. You go to buffet all you want if you eat that shit, man.
Yeah. We'll see. I hope we get the Dest we got before. If we do, we could move. If we get the Dest we got before, this whole formation could change to a 4-2-3-1.
That's what Bimmy says too. But I even with you know what? Fuck it. Let's do this. Hold on. 4-2-3-1. Okay.
Well, then Moose is out.
Scally's being turned into
Dest.
He's gonna be Dest.
I just took a drink of my drink and forgot to put the Canada Dry in it.
I mean, personally, this is how I would do it. Hopefully. Rain would have been easier to type in than Giovanni. Regardless. And I would leave it at that.
Yep. That's what that looks like in a 4-2-3-1. Absolutely. Well, except McKenzie for Ream, maybe. But
Sure.
Yep. Colin says, Derek, your lineup, as if it's just mine and not ours, doesn't have a critical mass of players who can pass and move. Dude, all right. This is not our lineup, Colin. This is what we think Poch is going to do. Stop. It's not my lineup. No. This is what we're trying to guess what Poch will do. We're not trying to pick up. If we had our own Disneyland lineup, we might do something different. But we're here to figure out what Poch will probably do, not come up with their own lineup.
I'm looking, as long as everybody's healthy, I'm looking at that 3-4-2-1 lineup we had, and I'm sitting there going, okay, who's getting subbed out for whom?
Yeah.
And we've talked about, having Gio in the lineup would be great, but he's barely played this season. Way has been playing more. Adams obviously has. It's just where would the difference be?
Right. Oh, Colin, by the way, we've done 2 different versions of what we think Poch would do. Also, and if Brett and I had our druthers, we'd probably do a 4-2-2-2-2. Or a 4-4-2.
Always pro 4-2-2-2-2.
So, you know what?
Okay.
It is what it is.
Here's Jamaica. Here's the game against Jamaica just recently. Tessman's in instead of Adams because Adams wasn't quite healthy at that point. But it's the same. It is the same fucking 11.
Yeah.
And McKenzie obviously instead of Richards because Richards wasn't healthy or wasn't playing as much then, and McKenzie was healthy. So it is what Poch would do. Poch did it. Poch legit did it.
Yeah, we're just doing Poch. We don't do Disneyland here. Brett doesn't get to wake up in the morning and go, you know what? I think we're going to play a 3-1-3-3 and pull it out of his ass and create a lineup for it. We don't do that here. It's not what we do. We do our best. And by the way, for the last fucking 3 years, we've been nailing motherfucking lineups for Berhalter. We nailed them. We nailed them all.
I gotta disagree with you. Yes, we did. We listed it as a 3. I know that your argument is that you do the lineup based on the defense or whatever. We listed it as a 3-4-2-1 instead of a 4-3 or 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
It is the same fucking players, and they're going to play the same fucking roles. Robinson's going to move up. Scally's going to sit back.
Yeah.
We may have had a different setup, yes, than what this lineup shows. Google, I know Google's 100% accurate. It is the same. It is the same fucking team outside of Pepe in McKenzie.
You can go to US Soccer Way if you want to get actual, setups that are accurate. So, all right. So anyhow,
Tessman is not in there for his passing. He is because there was no other option. Adams was injured. Who's going to start over him? Cardoso wasn't available. I don't think he was even in the lineup. Was Cardoso even in the lineup or roster?
Maybe, but
no.
Cardoso
wasn't in the lineup.
Right.
Who's going to start over him? Busio? It's possible, I guess, but Tessman's a different player than Busio. And the way that it was played, Tessman and Robinson lined up next to each other in more or less what turned out to be a 3-4-2-1 with two double pivots there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know. We harp on players like Adams and stuff like that. We say Tessman's in there for his passing, but Adams is doing it in EPL. I'm not saying he's a phenom by the passing standards, but he's able to move the ball forward.
Right. And this whole idea that we're developing some sort of narrative about who should be there. No, we're just trying to guess. at what Poch is going to do. And we're not going to be as good at guessing what Poch is going to do as Berhalter. We got Berhalter down to the point where we literally had the whole roster as well as the starting 11 nailed every fucking game. It's going to take us.
It was predictable then, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take us a little longer to figure that out with Poch because, you know, we're not as familiar as with his tendencies and what he's going to do. So, you know, that'll take some time. So I think we're done tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
We got all covered.
All right. And that's so weird. We're going to end with 269 giggity people watching on both YouTube and X. Make sure you like and subscribe. We will be back. My voice is already like fading out here. We'll be back on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. And then the President's Day off on Monday for some. And like, you know, this is an exciting time. We'll be back soon. Until then, we love you. You will not know how much, but we're trying to say we do. Good night.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro?